All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as you know, we're a little bit late and we apologize, but it is the first Tuesday of the month of November, and you know what that means? That means we are live. Gosh, that's long. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are now in with All Gloves Off Sports Media, and they bring us to you. We are Lights Out Sports. Myself, Mike Valentine, and my buddy Cheese. Cheese, how have you been, bud?
Been pretty good. It was a busy day with the
Yes.
NFL trade deadline, but a lot of our watchers are just happy. They wanted the hat back, and it's been months, and it's finally back. So a lot of people are gonna be really happy about it.
Oh yeah, man. We have got so much stuff to talk about tonight. We were talking about this off the air. It's why we're a little bit late. Thank you guys all for popping on with us here. I see the numbers are just flying. We appreciate it. Maybe we should be late all the time, buddy. But we were doing some stuff off air. We were talking a little bit. And man, what a day for the NFL today. It's almost like the Major League Baseball day, trade deadline day. There was a lot of stuff going on. Maybe not a lot of barn burner type things, but a lot of smaller trades. And I'm sure we're going to talk about more once we get into the football segment here with Cheese. But of course, before we do too much, buddy, we've got to give you the walk-up music.
Are you ready? 20 seconds start now. Ten seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, guys, let's tell you what, we have got a ton of stuff for you today. Once we get to the NFL, we're going to look at the Bengals offense, the Bears wide receivers. We're going to look at a lot of other stuff with our NFL coverage as well. That in a moment, we're going to look at Dabo Sweeney. We're going to look at the ACC in depth. We're going to look at some crazy stats, because you know I love stats. We got to do that with college football this time. And we're going to look at so much more. Then we're going to get to the MLB. I can't do two things at once. If it's not working, my wife was right. Oh, man. Yeah, I knew that was coming. And it's going to go right back into the music again because I'm never going to get to it on time. Nope, I knew I wouldn't get to it on time, but that's all right, buddy. All right, so we're going to look at MLB. We're going to look at the spread between NFL and MLB. We're going to look at the Dodgers. We're going to look at the Braves, somebody's team on this screen. And then we're going to kind of put a bow on everything World Series today. We're also going to do, of course, the Flive. Gee, money Christmas. The Flamin' 5 and 5. There we go. Woo!
The Flive. It's just we shortened it. It's now called the Flive.
The Flive.
Everyone will know.
That's it.
Hashtag Flive.
That's it, buddy. That's it. Hey, so I know you're going to do a few more things with football. Tell us what's coming up on the football stuff, bud.
Well, we have to talk about there's a permanent new quarterback for Arizona. We have to talk about the Bengals offense being terrific, but still not translating to wins. And we'll talk about the trade deadline as well.
All right. I can't wait. Ramen on Wheels tells us happy Tuesday, and they're ready. That's good. The question is, Cheese, are you ready?
Perhaps.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do the Flamin' 5 and 5. If you've never been here before, this is your first time. First of all, thank you. Secondly, as Cheese always likes to say, hit that like. You never know when we're going to have another video pop up, so hit the bell for notifications. Is there anything else they should do, Cheese?
Yes, they should subscribe to my channel at Football with Cheese. Of course they should. And yes, I, made a lot of videos today. It seemed like it was 18. No, it was really 3. I actually recorded another one I haven't even published yet because I haven't had time. But at Football with Cheese on YouTube, Cheese, C-H-E-Z. So that, of course.
Well, I can tell you as well, we've got the poll question up. We'll get to it towards the end of our college football segment, but you can go over right now to All Gloves Off Sports Media. That is at All Gloves Off SM, and you can vote on it like the other 55 people. It's been right at 4 hours, and we've got a ton of votes on it. Here's the question. We'll get to it in a few minutes. When ranking college football teams in either the AP Top 25 or the college football playoff, which of these factors is the most important? Your choices are the teams you beat, the teams you lose to, or your overall strength of schedule. It'll be interesting. It's pretty close between 2 of the 3 of them. We'll see what happens as we get a little closer to everything. One more thing. We said we could have done a 4-hour podcast today. There's so much stuff to talk about. We'll try to keep it about 2 or under. And we're going to start. Right? I already see your reaction like, sure we are.
We're going to try.
We're going to try. But there is a lot of stuff. Cheese, I know you can't see it. I can. We have been on the air for 6 minutes and 45 seconds. We haven't even actually talked sports yet, and we've already got over 30 people with us right now here on the Lights Out Sports Podcast. Last week, you guys did great. We had over 150 views here. We had a bunch more on our YouTube. We did a bunch of shorts last week that you guys really supported us with, and we thank you. A big thumbs up to all of you for doing all of that. And there you go. There's the thumbs up from Cheese. And I tell you what, guys. Oh, now we got both and the guns. Look out. It's like he's going to pull a cup out next or something. He's going to drink out of it or something crazy.
Pew, pew.
Pew, pew. So we really do appreciate you guys being with us and proving to us you actually like this show, or at least, part of it. All right, here we go. Cheese, your 5 flamin' 5-5, 2 college football, 2 baseball, and of course, 1 Packers question at the end. Here we go. If Cheese can get all of these questions right in this 5 minutes, you'll see the timer with the flames come up in a moment. Then he and I will talk about that final question, the Packers question, a little bit more, or his place will burst into flames. One of the 2. We'll see which one happens because we're getting ready to start it right now. Cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State's Jeremiah Smith. He could actually leave Ohio State with the all-time record for touchdowns, for yards, and receptions. You ready for these numbers, buddy? He is only 74 receptions away. He is only 858 yards away. This was all time, by the way. He will lead Ohio State all time. 74 receptions, 858 yards, and 11 touchdowns. And I know you know this, but he is only halfway through his sophomore season. Here's my hypothetical question for you, sir. The timer's getting ready to start. If he could come out in the draft this year, which we know he can't because he's only a sophomore, but if he could, would he be number 1?
Possibly. He would definitely be the number 1 receiver ahead of Jordan Tyson. I can't really Jeremiah Smith is one of the best college receivers I've seen. He's definitely top 5 I've ever seen. Let's put it that way. He's almost a guarantee in 2027, minus injuries, to be a top 5 pick. He's that good. And yeah, if he was able to come out, I think he probably, in this draft, there are some good quarterbacks, teams that need quarterbacks, but he would still go top 5 for sure, maybe top 3, depending on the need. I'll say this, he'd be the top non-quarterback taken.
All right. Top non-quarterback's probably good enough. Here's an MLB question for you, buddy. Game 7 of the World Series drew 25.9 million viewers, while Game 7 of the NBA Finals drew only 16.4 million viewers. What does this say for each one of those leagues?
Well, the NBA ratings were way down in the regular season. It's steadily gone down. It's become a league where people either drive the hoop or shoot threes. It's just a lot of shooting threes. It's not a fun sport to watch anymore. If you watch like highlights of Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, they were fun to watch. You don't have players that are really fun to watch. But baseball, I think I don't know. I mean, it's growing. There's no doubt about it. Viewership was up this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it had to do with the Dodgers or just the matchup and the fact that it was so close and it could have gone either way. I don't know, but I'll just say this: baseball is up and NBA is down. So baseball is trending up for whatever reason. NBA is definitely trending down.
All right, let's go back to college football for a moment, sir. James Franklin, it was announced earlier today, is going to Virginia Tech. He signed a 4-year, $7.8 million deal. My question to you is, will he actually complete this contract and stay at Virginia Tech for those 4 years?
Probably not. Just knowing James Franklin, he coached Vanderbilt, then he went to Penn State. I'm a little surprised he didn't wait to get a little bit better job.
Yeah, me too.
A little surprised, but it's not a bad job. It's just not a great job. So I thought he might wait for a better one. But to answer your question, if he does well there, if he turns it around in 3 years, he'll be gone.
All right. So about 2 minutes here. Once I read the fourth question, we'll do questions 4 and 5. We're going to go back to MLB. Your Chicago Cubs declined the 3-year, $57 million option on, I forgot to write his name down. Shohei
Imagawa. Yeah.
Yes.
Imagawa. Yeah.
He actually said no to his own half of it, which was the $15 million option. So here's my question to you, Cheese. Will they eventually agree on a contract, or will Imanata sign somewhere else?
Somewhere else. I think they decided to move on. He was tremendous last year. He was very good the first half. He ran out of gas. End of the year, he was not good. He did not pitch well in the postseason. He was giving up too many homers. I believe the Cubs think that he's just past his prime. He's getting old, and they want to go younger, and they want more of a strikeout pitcher. They have a bunch of guys that are, let's just say, weak contact pitchers like him, but they need, and a lot of fly ball, weak contact pitchers. They have too many of those. They need more pitchers that miss bats get strikeouts. So I think that's why they turned it down. But I think he moves on to another team.
All right, we got less than a minute here, buddy. Here's your Packers question. The Packers rank dead last in the NFL in average punt return yardage. It's 5.0. The last team to average 5.0 yards in punt return average or lower was the 2020 Green Bay Packers. And the only team in the last 10 years before that averaged a low number like that was the 2019 Green Bay Packers. How important is special teams to a football team? 15 seconds.
It's huge. It's huge. Their special team has been a disaster. Every single year Matt LaFleur has been there. They have a good punter, and that's about it. Bad long snapper, bad returning. It's just a disaster. Rick Bisaccia should be fired and seen.
Ooh, you did it again. All right, buddy. I love it.
I had so much more to say, but I had to stop. The special teams is an absolute disaster, and that's one of the problems I have with Matt LaFleur.
Right. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the video, and we have a second short that's going to come out right after this show. All right. I know Cheese doesn't know that either, but we made a second short. Our buddy Ricky Logan, that's here with us at All Gloves Off Sports Media, has done a fantastic job. So has Roger Strauss of cutting those things up, and kind of each of us have our own little thing in this new sports media thing that we're doing. Although I'm not sure what Cheese's is. But we each have our role here, and we're doing really well at it. We're giving you guys a bunch of great content. Cheese is doing his thing. We are doing Lights Out Sports together. I'm going to do mine a little bit more as we kind of get into it there, hopefully. And then Ricky and Robert have the Red Hot Reds podcast. They got a great interview coming up. I know who it is. I'll just tell you this: he's still playing. So that's all I'm going to say. He plays for the Cincinnati Reds, and he's still playing. So it'll be a really good interview. I can't wait to get it. I believe it'll be this coming Sunday when they debut that interview.
Is Barry Larkin still playing?
Yeah. Well, no, Barry Larkin's not playing anymore.
Oh, okay.
That'd
be a good interview. That would be a good game for them.
Yeah. That would be a heck of an interview, to be honest with you. Maybe we'll have to challenge them on that one.
Okay.
And then the Reds made a signing today. I'm sure they'll talk about it later. I won't talk about it on this particular podcast, but we'll get to some baseball stuff here in just a few moments. But before we get too far, I want to do a baseball thing here with you, because you said 100% right. From July 25th through the end of the season, Imanaga made 12 starts. He had a 5.17 ERA in those 12 starts and a 5.42 fielding independent pitching across those last 69 and 2/3 innings of work. His strikeouts actually came up 23.2%, which isn't a terrible strikeout number, but he allowed, are you ready? Just in those last 69 and 2/3 innings, he allowed 20 home runs in Wrigley Field. So, that's kind of the dynamics there as far as that with Imanaga that we talked about earlier. And then you were going to talk to me more about the Packers, because if you guys haven't seen it, she's put out a passive aggressively violent video that said he is calling for Matt LaFleur's head. He does not want Matt LaFleur to ever put cheese on his head anymore. He wants Matt LaFleur gone. And if you guys haven't got a chance to do that and watch that video, cheese, where can they get that at, buddy?
Yeah, just view my channel at Football with Cheese. Obviously, Football with Cheese is CHEZ. I'll say this: I made the video. I was going to record about 5 minutes before I did. I calmed down. It was right after
that was you calm?
That was me calm. I calmed down for 5 minutes. I kind of walked around, chilled, and I was like, okay, let me be calm. Let me not be angry after losing the Panthers. That was me calm. That was me being rational. And so that video, I had no idea. Yes.
And that is correct.
I had no idea that the video would lead to almost 5,000 views, 50 new subscribers, over 400 comments. It took off. And I was even more surprised at how many people agree with me. There's always going to be people that, well, but his record's good. Oh, but but all this, and they'll make all these excuses for him. I've been hearing that forever, all year. But Packer fans are pissed. They've had enough. We've had him since 2018, blown it in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers throwing 40 touchdowns, when MVPs, still couldn't do anything in the postseason. We're tired of it. And it's embarrassing. The Browns game and especially this game is embarrassing what was on the field there. His coaching, his game plan, his play calling, it's pathetic. And so I decided it was time. It was time to, I don't like calling for anyone's firing, but I don't think Green Bay can hit their full potential with him as the head coach.
And I'll tell you what, we appreciate you. Cheese doesn't know this because I have the numbers right in front of me. I'm going to round them up a little bit. Okay. But his last 3 shorts on the All Gloves Off Sports Media YouTube channel, over 1,000 views. Wow. Those last 3 combined. So he's figuring a lot of stuff out right at the moment. We're helping him out. I got to give Ricky and Roger their props for being able to do this for us. And then we had a lot of shorts that came out from our last podcast that did really well too. They didn't do quite cheese well, but they did pretty well. And we appreciate all of you guys watching all of our stuff. You're going to see us come out with some more shorts. And like I said, as soon as this podcast is done, Cheese hasn't seen it yet. It's coming. It's going to be another short from that Matt LaFleur
craziness
there that he did. We'll have that.
Well-
Like I said, it'll be posted up on our YouTube channel, All Gloves Off Sports Media. We have a really good number right at the moment. Do we still have the number? Yeah, we have a really good number of subscribers. I'm just smiling to myself because I know what the number is. But we'd like to get it up a little higher than that, even though that's a good number. And for those of you who want to go over and click it real quick and see what it is, it's a good number.
Yeah. It's a great number. I can't believe you said that, Mike. Hold on, I can't believe it.
PG
Bad
show.
Michael. Bad Michael.
All right. So, like I said, we appreciate all of you guys doing everything with us. So let's go to that real quick. I know you want Matt LaFleur's head, but tell me, is the special teams Matt LaFleur's fault too? I mean, is that the head coach's thing? Where do you view that part at?
Yeah, I do. I think I blame Matt LaFleur because every year they have one of the worst special teams. And we're going back to 2018 when he was hired. And Rick Bisaccia is the special teams head coach. And he's one of the highest paid special teams head coach too. He formerly worked with the Raiders and was their interim head coach actually for a bit after the Gruden thing, went down. So they're paying a special teams coach a ton of money. But Matt LaFleur just, whenever he's asked about stuff not going right, he just dismisses it. Like they're asking him about pre-snap penalties. He said, well, I see it in practice too. Like, and then the Green Bay media just coddles him. They never call him out. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. It's almost like they want access to the Packers. So they just toe the line. Don't call him out. I don't know why. So yes, it is his fault. The special teams can be worked on more. And especially because they have a great punter. But everything else about the special teams has been absolute disaster. They don't even cover kicks well either. They don't do any aspect of it well, minus a punter, by the way, who didn't even punt. How do you score 13 points and not punt against the Panthers? Can you explain that to me?
That takes talent, sir.
It takes being shit.
Family show, sir. PG.
Well,
okay, we've each done our faux pas now. That's it. All right, it's over. All right. Oh darn, we're still at the same number. I was looking over to see if maybe somebody gave us another number, so I
was texting people. I was like, "Someone subscribe, get that number." Somebody subscribe if you haven't, but I think they have.
All right. So before this thing goes completely off the rails, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into our college football spread offense. Everybody, we are going to do several things in our college football spread offense. We're going to start off with a find. Then we're going to go to a conference. Then we're going to go to another conference that might give you some pass as to really this is how college football is going this year, and it is. We'll explain. And then last, I'm the big stat guy. I wrote college football spread offense this week, and we're going to end it with some stats that may make you think twice about what you think you know about college football. All right, Chiefs, let's start off with Clemson and Dabo Swinney. So Dabo Swinney was fined $10,000 by the ACC just because he was running his mouth. Same thing we do for 2 or 2.5 or maybe possibly today 3 hours on this podcast, right? So he was fined because it was, here's the quote, violating its sportsmanship policy that prohibits public criticism or evaluation of officials.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, so prohibits is the big word, right? It prohibits public criticism or evaluation of the officials. Shouldn't a head coach be allowed to at least criticize them or say they did something wrong?
Here's the thing with that. Yes, but if you allow them to criticize the officials, all coaches are going to do is criticize officials because it gets worse. NFL and college, every year officiating gets worse, especially with all the prop bets, all the bets out there.
Mhm.
So, who knows if they're on the take. If you're able to criticize officials, that's all they're going to do. Every game, and that's what all the press conference will be about. That's what they want to avoid. So, yes, they should, but at the same time, I get why they're not allowed to. But Dabo Swinney has, he has a good case.
So we talked about this off air. You saw the play. Do you agree with Dabo Swinney or do you agree with the official?
I agree with Dabo Swinney. That was horrible. I did not watch that game, but of course I saw the highlight. Absolutely, it absolutely should have been called. I don't like thinking every game's rigged because just about any game now you could say, "Oh, that call! Look at that call! That's rigged." And then someone doesn't cover a spread, but that was terrible. It was blatant, and Clemson got screwed, and they should have won the game. So I get Dabo's frustration, but it's not like he's done a good job this year anyway. Just saying.
Right. Okay. All right. So Sweeney's actual comments were so this wasn't the day of the game. All right. So he did his post press conference as always, and then after that he did another, I believe, radio interview on Sunday and was asked some more questions about everything that happened. And then he said this. I got to get your take on this. Here's his direct quote. There's a lot of accountability for coaches and players, but I don't think there's much for the refs. Do you agree?
I definitely agree with that. I'll say this. They did suspend that SEC official who had messed up so many games. Did you watch that bowl game, that Clemson-Ohio State bowl game years ago? I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Going back to that, I mean, there's so many instances. I can't think of the referee's name. So at least they're suspending the worst ones, but I think there needs to be some kind of system where the worst referee or the worst official at each spot in every conference gets fired every year. Hold them accountable. Because if you do that, I don't know if they have a union or whatever. If you do that, they'll be better. There's more likely not to be any like on the take. To keep your job, you have to be efficient. So yeah, they need to hold refs accountable as well.
Okay. So like the NBA, they have like a scorecard basically that they release, and then the NBA makes it public afterward. It's usually 2 or 3 days after the game in question. And they say, here's the plays they got right. Here's what they should have called. And they basically criticize their own referees. I'm sure you've seen there's a couple of social media sites that show like the catcher behind the plate. You got Johnny Bench behind the plate, right? It looks like Bench in that iconic catcher gear and all that. And they show where all the strikes and stuff were, and hey, this one was out, and that one was out, and this referee missed 9 calls or whatever it is. So I think MLB, I think college sports doesn't, but I do think that the NBA does too. They critique their referees. They might not fine them, but they at least make it public knowledge. Is making it public knowledge enough without holding? I mean, okay, so does making it public knowledge make them accountable? How about that?
It helps, but it's the NBA is the ones grading them. So
right, they're grading their own players. You're right.
They're grading their own players. They're not going to probably be as strict as they should.
Yeah, harsh. Yeah,
as harsh. Yeah, I mean, I like that though that they do that. There's a lot of plays in the NBA. I don't watch a lot of NBA, but there's plays where you've seen this where a star player just falls down. They're not fouled, but they fall down, and then immediately there's a call. The oh man, SGA. What is his name? SGA for the Thunder.
Sean Gilbert Alexander.
No, but that's not his name. But no, I don't think it's his name. But
tell us, throw us up on the comments. We're not real big NBA people. Somebody help us. I know, man. There's almost 50 people listening. Know what SGA
Oklahoma City Thunder.
I think it's Sean Gilbert Alexander.
Yeah. Okay. Shai Gilly. Okay. I think you're right. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll go with that, right?
for some reason he doesn't get fouled, and they call it every time. He seems to. I don't know why maybe they want the Thunder to win, but he's that guy. There's always that guy in any sport, but I like that they do that. The NFL will never do that. I tell you that much with all the bad officiating. So I like the NBA does that, but even so, it's still not a perfect system.
Well, I don't think it's ever going to be a perfect system, but right the moment, I don't think the NFL referees are accountable or held accountable whatsoever. So even a little something would be better than what we've got right the moment. So we're 2 questions away here, ladies and gentlemen. 57 votes on our poll question. Hop on over to all gloves off SM. Gloves, whatever.
They're glowing gloves. We got 2.
Okay?
We got gloves and we got glows.
Yes. And then what else did we shorten it to?
Flive.
Let's see.
Flive.
Yes. Flive. Thanks. I appreciate you pointing out all the things that I have misspoke today. All right. That's what we got you here for, buddy. So go over there. All gloves off SM at our Twitter account, and you can vote on the poll question, as 57 other people have already voted on it. Repost it, do all that good stuff. As you guys know, we are trying to help build a lot of the other smaller accounts. Not that we're not a small account. I mean, we're not to 10,000 yet. That's the goal by the end of the year. Let me just throw it out there. 10,000 followers by the end of the year. We're at like 7,700 right at the moment. So we're getting there.
I just realized I'm looking at the poll. I pulled it up. What I voted for is by far in 3rd place. Okay.
Far. Right.
By far. So it's like 2 of us.
We'll
There's like 2 of us
it.
that voted that. Me and someone else.
It's probably you twice. Just say it. Going back to these referees, right? I also want to say this, and I want to find out if you agree with me here. There's never just one play, right? A lot of people always point to one play in a game, but there's hardly ever just that one play that makes a huge difference. There's other momentum plays and all of that kind of stuff. And by the way, Dabo, if you're really, really upset, how about you not allow Duke to score 46 points? How about that?
Yeah. Clemson's been a disaster this year. It shouldn't have come down to that. I mean, going into the year, I don't understand it, because they have a lot of talent, but it's been a disaster. And do you think he'll be fired?
I think there's at least a chance.
He's been so good, but he won't do transfers. It seems like he's stubborn, set in his ways. I think Clemson needs to make a change, and I think they do. I think it's time to move on. And it's crazy because 6, 7, 8 years ago, I mean, he was like one of the best, if not the best, college football coach.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's not a good coach. I'm just going to say kind of like, so you said the same thing with Brian Snitker in Atlanta, and we're going to talk about the new Atlanta manager here in just a little bit and see if you have the same kind of feelings that I do on who they ended up hiring and why and everything else. We'll get to that in our MLB segment here. But I'm not saying Sweeney's not a good coach. What I am saying is I'm not sure if he is adapting to how the college landscape is changing.
Yeah, he's not adapting. And like I said, he's just set in his ways. He's stubborn. The way I've always done it is he thinks he can keep winning that way. You know, LSU returned 7 starters. Yeah, okay, they're not that great, but at the same time, they went out and got a ton of transfers. Miami did as well. Like, that's what you have to do. You have to fill your holes with transfers. So
absolutely,
it's just not working. And I'm shocked. I'm saying this a couple of years ago, I never would have said this, but they need to make a change.
It's interesting. Cheese is calling for a change in Clemson right here on the Lights Out Sports Podcast. Final question about this, and we're going to move on to our second one here. Is this a problem? Is not holding the refs accountable in college football, would you consider it a problem?
Yeah, I think it's a problem. It goes back to, it's not necessarily bad officiating. Some guys may miss a call here and there, sure, but officiating gets worse. It gets worse every year, and I think it has to do with all the betting, all the props, little things. They can find a way. Okay, the score's close. If I make one bad call, okay, that won't hurt me, but it'll make sure that this team doesn't cover. This prop isn't done. So yes, I think it's a problem, and they need to hold them more accountable.
All right, let's move on to our second topic here. because the ACC is an absolute mess. So Virginia is 5-0 in conference, and they're 8-1 overall. So I don't think Cheese and I would have any debate over the fact that they are probably going to be in the ACC title game. But the question is, Cheese, who do you think will be their opponent in the SEC or in the ACC title game?
Probably either Georgia Tech or Louisville. If I had to pick, even though they just lost, I'd probably say Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech probably not going to beat Georgia, but that's not a conference game. So I'll say probably Georgia Tech.
All right. Sorry, I was getting the other computer over there back on that.
Okay.
I'm doing everything else.
I think you expect me to talk longer. You're used to me just talking for like 3 minutes straight.
I am used to you talking a little longer, and I've got to check here real fast.
That's all I had. Yeah, I think Georgia Tech. They are coming off a bad game, but their schedule I think is a little bit easier than like Pitt or Louisville and Miami already has 2 losses. So yeah.
I think people just like that number. I don't know. We haven't gotten another subscriber yet. Now I don't want to keep looking at that number because I'm going to talk about it again. So
apparently,
I'd say Virginia Tech because they're 5-1 in conference and they're 8-1 overall. That's what you just said. Pitt is also 5-1. They're 7-2 in the conference, and Louisville is 4-1, being 7-1 in the conference. Personally, I think Louisville's a better team than what people are giving them credit for. So even though I do agree with you that Georgia Tech will probably be that team, I also think Louisville has at least an outside shot at being able to do it. You talked about Pitt. We were talking about it off the air. They have an absolute brutal schedule at the end. Do you still have that pulled up in front of you by chance?
I don't, but I know they play Notre Dame, Miami, and one other team. Yeah, Notre Dame next week or this coming week. And they have Miami and hold on, I'll pull it up. The other team is.
That was me, by the way.
Okay.
I know you heard that.
Oh, at Georgia. So they're okay. So Notre Dame at home, at Georgia Tech, Miami at home. Those are the last 3 games. They might not be favored in any of those. So there's no way they run the table, and they have to get in the ACC title game, in my opinion.
All right, fantastic. Hey, I appreciate everybody. We got a lot of people liking it, reposting our stream right now. We certainly appreciate it. And that's probably why we've got a lot of people with us. Well over 50 people with us now. So we appreciate all of that. If one of those teams beats Virginia, we're talking about Georgia Tech, Pitt, or Louisville in the ACC conference game, which of those 3 teams do you think match up best against Virginia? Georgia Tech, Pitt, Louisville?
I think Georgia Tech could give Virginia some problems. I think that'd be their toughest opponent. Louisville's only loss was to Virginia at home.
Mm-hmm.
And Louisville, I watched that game. Louisville played awful in that game. They really played bad. They did. So they could beat Virginia too. Virginia's one of those teams. They're 8-1, and they started off playing so well and really haven't played great the last month. But they find a way to win. It seems like they always make some really good defensive play in the fourth quarter, right at the end. Like against Cal, they're up 3 at a pick 6 to make it 10 to win the game. Against North Carolina, they stopped a 2-point conversion to win that. So Virginia always seems to make a huge defensive play to win the game. So they're probably lucky to be 8-1. So I think Georgia Tech probably would be my answer.
Okay. I'm looking here at.
But Louisville and Georgia Tech both could beat Virginia for sure.
Yeah, so I've got Adam Schefter's college football projected 12-team bracket up. They've got Virginia at 11 and Memphis at 12. We're going to ask that question here in a second. Not only is it fair, so is it fair to the other conferences if, let's say, Louisville gets in just because they simply beat Virginia and got lucky in the ACC title game? Is that fair to all the rest of them, or do we say something like, hey, you beat who you put in front of you, and they're in the right, they were in that conference, right time kind of thing? What do you think about that?
I mean, if Louisville beats Virginia in the ACC title game, should they get in the playoff?
Well, they're going to get in the playoff. It's right. Automatic. I'm just saying, is it fair?
fair.
I mean, let's say Louisville loses 2 more games, right? And they're at 7-3 or 7-4 or something like that.
Gotcha. So so there's a team that maybe has 3 losses but only 2 conference losses, get in the title game and still win.
Right.
Is it fair? Oh no, it's not. It's not. And that's why I didn't want to go to 12-team playoff, because it creates situations like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people like the BCS, honestly, because every game was important. Every game. So now if you, like, for example, Alabama losing to Florida State means absolutely nothing right now. Nothing. It did not hurt them. They got dominated in that game. Florida State's a bad team. Means nothing. So I don't like that, but it's gonna, at some point it's gonna happen. A Big 12 or ACC team is gonna be 8-4 and get in. It's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah. Somebody like that is. We're going to do some stats here in a moment, where the next thing we're going to do is our biggest losers and winners, and then what game we're looking forward to. We'll get to that here in just a second. Let me tell you about this projected 12-team playoff. This is from Schefter. So he's saying 12 seed would be Memphis and 5 seed would be Georgia. And those 2 teams would play each other in the first round, and then the winner of that would go to Alabama. And then you would have Oregon as the number 9 seed playing Texas Tech, the 8th seed. Wow, what a game that would be. And the winner of that game would move on and play Ohio State. Whew. Then you would
number
have
1 seed last year didn't do so hot. So
right. Then you would have 11 Virginia against 6 Ole Miss. And the winner of that game would go on to Texas A&M. And then number
Chandler
10
Morris
and
could give
number 7.
problems. Chandler Morris, quarterback Virginia, he could give Ole Miss some problems. Ole Miss can be a little susceptible on defense.
Yes, I agree with you.
They lost Walter Nolan, who's apparently a stud, if you watched the game last night.
I couldn't. You know why I couldn't? Because ESPN and YouTube can't agree on nothing.
We'll talk more about the Cardinals later in the show.
We will talk more about the Cardinals. I might have to rant a little bit more about ESPN and YouTube and everything else. That's on my nerves. We had to cancel the watch along last night because I couldn't see it.
Correct.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. My wife loved that we canceled the watch along last night, because I sat on the sofa with her all night watching television. And, she kept looking over at me and going, see, isn't this better than doing your sports stuff? And of course I had to say nothing. So then
Love Island. I mean, you're hooked to Love Island, right?
Right. I am. Then the final game would be Notre Dame BYU, and the winner of those 2 teams would then play Indiana. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff there as far as that part goes.
Indiana Notre Dame rematch would be cool.
It would. So there's some stuff that we could get there. I think it would be really, really interesting. All right, buddy. So let's go on to our third of the 4 when we do our college football spread offense. Man, I got to give it to everybody. We are just climbing and climbing and climbing in numbers. We might get to 100 before the end of this first segment is over. That'd be fantastic if we could do that. So winners, losers, and the game you're looking most forward to. I'm going to let you go first because I'm letting you go first, I'm going to let you choose where we start. Losers, winners, or the game you're looking most forward to, sir?
The winner, we just talked about it. It's Virginia, because Georgia Tech lost, and they got a huge win at Cal, which was not an easy game. Go all the way to the West Coast. So Virginia is in the driver's seat. Miami lost as well. They're the winners, not necessarily for winning the game, even more so who lost. So yeah, how could I not pick Virginia as the winner? Now they're a top 12 team. They're 11 in one poll and 12 in the other. So they are in great shape.
Hang on. Something told me to keep looking at this Twitter feed. I have some breaking news for you.
Oh, here we go.
According to Major League Baseball, the Kansas City Royals and Salvador Perez have agreed to a 2-year extension onto his contract. Interesting. Doesn't give us the terms of it. Here, I'll like it and retweet it here real fast for us. But
Let me
that's
say
according
something
to
about
MLB.
that.
So,
do you remember when he signed like a 6-year, $9 million deal years ago? A real team-friendly deal. And then the market just exploded, and then he became like an elite player at his position. And he could have demanded more money, and it could have been a mess, but he did. So I really respect him, and they have rewarded him. Tough word to say. Since. So I'm happy for him, and he'll probably retire a Royal.
Yeah, I would like to see that. I really would like to see him retire as a Royal. So, yes. So you said the biggest loser was who again, sir? I'm sorry,
Biggest
I kind of
winner.
interrupted you.
I was trying to be positive. I went winner first. Virginia
okay.
is my biggest winner. Who's your biggest winner?
Well, my biggest winner was Utah. I really wanted to watch that Utah Cincinnati game.
I watched it.
Shut up over there. I couldn't even watch the highlights of it because the highlight show that I watch is on that terrible 4-letter word.
Yep.
And then I looked at I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. We were going to talk about it, but I decided not to. But JC, you just reposted our stream too. I certainly appreciate that. There's a lot of people that are. Thank you guys very much. I do see the comment. I'll get to it in just a second as well. But, Utah had a chance to show that they belonged. And not only did they beat Cincinnati from the score and the highlights that I did get to see, it looked like they dominated Cincinnati. Now, we were talking about this off air too, Cheese, between the two of us. UC stayed in the top 25. They ended up hanging on at number 25. But the Big 12 it's almost as much of a mess as the ACC is. And if it keeps it up, we'll talk about them next week. In fact, we're going to talk about them here in just a moment. So my biggest winner was Utah.
Yeah, and Utah, they had 2 losses. They had to win. You cannot have a third loss to make the playoffs. So, yeah, it's a huge win for them.
Right. Thank you, JC. Appreciate you doing that, buddy. I'm sure you're going to comment on some more stuff. Come on. I know you want to. Bring it on, buddy. And then there's a whole bunch of other people who are with us as well. Go ahead. As long as you're talking about what we're talking about, click that comment thing. Be a part of the show. We love interaction with our fans. So, Cheese, where are you going to go next? The game you're looking most forward to, or your loser of the last week?
So the biggest loser, you mentioned the Big 12 team. Houston, I don't know what happened to Houston. They lost at home to West Virginia, and they gave up, 45 points? And Houston only had 1 loss. It was Texas Tech at home. And they were in good shape. They were right in it, had a chance to make the playoff. But, boy, they laid a brick. West Virginia was 0-5 in the Big 12 coming in, and they had them at home. And it was nice that day. I live in Houston. It was a nice day. It was like in the 70s. The weather was perfect. It wasn't like there was some weather incident. How did they lose? I didn't see the game, but they got absolutely crushed by West Virginia. So Houston's done. That's my loser.
And then just so you know, we'll get to some stuff with the Big 12 in a moment, but ASU has a bye this week, and then they play West Virginia the following week. So, yeah, that conference to me is the best conference in college football right now. But we'll see. We'll see how it all pans out. I also want to say that our buddy Sirhan has his stream up right at the moment as well. His is finished. So as soon as you're done here, if you just can't get enough sports and you're thinking to yourself, well, there's not much on boxing, well, you can go over and see his. Sirhan is going to relive the Holyfield Brown trilogy over there on Sirhan on X. So, yeah. Watch it later on tonight. Watch it tomorrow, depending on where you're at, because we had the big time change and everything else. But we'll get to all of that. So you said you've done your winner. You've done your loser. I've got to do Cincinnati as my loser. Man,
it's tough to play at Utah, though. It's tough to play at Utah.
It is. There's no doubt about that. I'm gonna turn
And
the
at
hat
night.
on.
Oh, cool.
Oh, look at that! Oh, I love you, Cheese.
I like you as a friend.
I like how you were very specific about that. Yes. Okay.
But Cincinnati
back. So we'll do some more stuff with the hat. So yeah,
just like Houston, Cincinnati was a game that they're probably limited, right?
I'm not sure if they're eliminated because as we talked about again, I know we keep saying this, we talked a lot of off air, and we did this time. There was some, I thought I sent all the notes over to Cheese, ended up I did not, and he's sending me messages and, hey, you didn't send me the notes. And I'm like, I did too. I sent it to you earlier today. And he's like, no, you didn't. And then I had to go back through and look, and son of a gun, if he wasn't right, I did not send him anything. So, Cheese is really flying by the seat of his pants here. He's had these notes for about 15 minutes. So, yeah, but as we were talking off air, there's a lot of teams in college football with 4 weeks left that have 4 or at least 3 really tough opponents. It's really hard to kind of shape how everything's going to end up falling because a lot of these teams have some really tough schedules. So did they eliminate themselves? Maybe not eliminate, but they've certainly made it a lot more difficult on themselves than if they just would have beat Utah. I mean, if Cincinnati would have beat Utah and all the other teams that lost over the weekend, they have a shot to be in top 15 at least, maybe top 12.
Yeah, it was a tough place to play, and they looked overmatched. Devon Dampier, he's just a stud quarterback at Utah. For some reason, only Texas Tech can stop him. But yeah.
That's what you get when you get a defense like what Texas Tech has, though.
When you get 7 transfers, pretty much the whole defensive line's transfers, yeah.
But and that's what we were talking about, right? They are playing the game. Dabo is not. And look at what's happening with the 2 teams on each end of the spectrum.
Yep.
All right, buddy. So how about the game you're looking most forward to this coming Saturday?
Why don't you go first, just to make sure? I think I know what you're picking. Just make sure we don't pick the same one.
Well, you know as well as I do that I'm really big into the Big Ten this time of year.
Big Ten?
I'm sorry, Big 12. Big 12.
Okay, I was going to say, if you pick the Big Ten, we might pick the same game. Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay.
A lot of stuff going on around me here, okay? It's hard
I almost had to change the game. Okay.
I'm trying to prove my wife wrong. I can multitask, but so far I'm not doing a very good job of proving her wrong.
Big 12 game.
Yes, Big 12 game. Really into
huge.
it. BYU and Texas Tech. This is going to be a shootout. I love college football as a whole. I have to say that I like defensive games, but I love when 2 teams just go out there and trade punches. And I really think that's what's about to happen with BYU and Texas Tech. BYU has the big running back. Texas Tech has that defense. And they've got a really good quarterback as well. And BYU's quarterback is above average. So I really think this could be a high-scoring game. In fact, I'm going to say this. This game will be 70 points or more between the 2 teams.
I absolutely could see that. BYU's undefeated. A lot of people don't realize that there's 4 undefeated teams, the top 3 teams, and then BYU. They have not lost. They beat Utah. They've had a really good season.
Yeah.
Somehow Vegas thinks Texas Tech's a lot better, though, because the spread's 10.5.
Wow.
It's at Texas
Is it really?
Tech. Yes. It's at Texas Tech. But if it had been 7, I would have been a little surprised. So Vegas thinks Texas Tech's a lot better. That's a big spread.
So it's 10.5. So they really have to beat them by 11.
BYU is at Texas Tech. But yes, that spread is 10.5. So Vegas really likes Texas Tech. Texas Tech has an edge rusher named David Bailey, who's just an absolute stud. He really is. And Texas Tech, they played one game that they just laid a brick, no doubt about it. So they do have a loss, but yeah, that's a huge game. The winner is in great shape in the Big 12.
Absolutely. Well, the winner is in great shape in college football as a whole.
Period. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So do you agree with Ramen on Wheels here? College football playoff selections will likely be controversial this year.
Last year, they lucked out. There were basically the 12 teams that kind of fit. There was no 3-loss team got in. But what if the last 2 spots at large spots, they all have 3 losses, and there's 5 or 6 teams in the Power 4 with 3 losses? Then it's a problem. So I do agree with her. I think it'll happen. I think they lucked out last year. I did not like going to 12. I'd rather them gone to 8 if they were going to expand it. I did not like them going to 12. So it's going to more than likely it's going to be controversial. They just kind of lucked out last year.
I'm looking at the stuff. I'm trying to figure out how you know it's her. That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's ramen on wheels.
It's probably a girl.
Maybe. Okay. Well, you're using your intuition here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a friend of the show. She comments sometimes.
She's on this show all the time.
Exactly.
We're gonna say she. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? All right, buddy. College football stats for ranking teams, right? And you can go over to All Gloves Off SM on Twitter and still vote on this poll question. We will update it here in just a second. That'll be the final thing that we will do here in our college football spread offense. Here's the question, and I'll give you your choices, Cheese, when ranking college football teams in either the AP Top 25 or the College Football Playoff, which comes out today, by the way. Which of these factors is the most important? And your choices are the teams you beat, the teams you lose to, or your overall strength of schedule. Really close on two of them. We'll see what it ends up being here before the end of this segment. So
real quick, what game I'm looking forward to? Oregon, Iowa.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to ask you, didn't I?
So Oregon, Iowa, it's at Iowa. That's a tough place to play, and it's an elimination game. Iowa has to win. They have a chance. If they win that game, they are in the playoff discussion. And Oregon, it wouldn't eliminate them, but it's a big game for them. They need to win this game. If they win this game, they're pretty much in the playoff. Same kind of thing with Texas A&M, Missouri. I just want to mention them as well. Missouri has 2 losses. They have to win, and A&M's undefeated. You know, if they want to pretty much guarantee a spot in the SEC title game, you know, they need to win this game, but it's an elimination game for Missouri and Iowa. Those are the 2 games.
All right. Hawk, we appreciate you liking it and reposting our stream as well. I can see you doing it there on our X account. Thank you very much. We are 1 person away from 100. So we're at 99 right now, right at an hour into the podcast. So there are, for those of you who think that a bunch of these teams are really good and they have beat a lot of really good teams, let me give you a stat right now.
Okay.
These are the teams per conference that have yet to beat a bowl eligible team. Now you have to be pretty good to be bowl eligible at this point of the season, all right, with 4 weeks left to go. Okay. Mm-hmm. So let's throw that out there, right? But so teams, again, it's by conference, that have yet to beat a bowl eligible team. The Big Ten has 9 teams that have yet to beat a bowl eligible team. The SEC has 7 teams who have yet to beat a bowl eligible team. The ACC also has 7 teams who have yet to beat a bowl eligible team. And I think this is the one that's going to shock most people the most. The Big 12 only has 4 teams that have yet to beat a bowl eligible team. Do you really think with that stat, Cheese, that is telling, or is that just, you know what, there's not many bowl eligible teams out there right at the moment, so it's kind of an awkward stat more than it is a telling stat?
Maybe more awkward. There's 7 teams that are bowl eligible in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Big Ten as well.
Yeah, I was going to say there's pretty much the same number in every conference right at the moment.
I mean, I think it's telling. I think the Big 12 is deep. I think it's deeper than it was last year. I think they're beating each other up. I think it's really deep. They have a lot of good quarterbacks, although one's out for the year. Sam Leavitt, sorry, buddy, for Arizona State. But I just think the Big 12 is deep, and the Big 10's just not is deep. Once you get to like the 7th, 8th team in the Big Ten, I think it's a drop off after the first like 6 or so. Mm-hmm. It kind of falls off, but Big 12 definitely deeper.
All right, let me give you this part. Another stat. I've got 3 stats, and then we're going to do the poll question. Here's the third of the 4, or the second of the third stats. What cup do we have today, sir? Is that the Spidey Cup? All right.
Yes, Spidey. Yes.
All right, buddy. The Arizona State Sun Devils are the only FBS team to play all of their games against above 500 opponents Let me read that again. They're 6-3 right at the moment. Conference play, I'm not 100% sure what they are. I think they have 2 losses in conference play. Utah and
Wow. No, I'm just looking at their schedule. Sorry, I just pulled up their schedule. Yeah,
Yes.
you're right.
It's crazy. Yeah, they are the only FBS team to play all of their games against people that have a current above 500 record. Every team they played so far is above 500 as we speak right now. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, they did play Northern Arizona and Texas State, but they have winning records. Mississippi State, they lost, but they're 5-4. Yeah, and they do have 3 losses. They're not going to be in the playoff. It would take a mirror. Well, I guess it's still technically possible. They probably have to win the Big 12.
They could, be in the Big 12 title game and then win it.
Could. Even though they're missing their quarterback, but they're the only team to beat Texas Tech, and they did beat Texas Tech, and they look good against Iowa State too. So, yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Mr. Sims looked really good against Ohio State. He got Player of the Week.
I'll say this: it's about to change because they're playing West Virginia, who's 3-6. That's their next game.
That's why I had to make sure I got it in this week. So
then they're Colorado. Yeah, they have a losing record too. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, we're not talking about Colorado this week. I'm pretty much done talking about Colorado.
Arizona State schedule's about to get so easy.
It is actually. It is. Yeah. That's another reason why when we're saying, this team's out, they've got 3 losses. I don't think they're out. I really do think they could be in this Big 12 conference or title game before it's all said and done.
They need a lot to happen. They need a lot of teams to lose at the top, but BYU Texas Tech game helps out because one of them's got to lose. They almost need like BYU just keep winning,
right,
and everyone else keep losing because they do own the tiebreak with Texas Tech. So BYU winning would help them a lot.
It would. All right, let me give you this last one. You don't know this one. I didn't put this one on the notes. I wanted to kind of see your reaction when you get this.
Okay.
So their record by conference versus non-conference Power 4 schools. So it's not when Ohio State plays Penn State. That's a conference. It's when they play. It's when they play Power 4 teams outside of their conference. All right, just so everybody's on board here. That's what the stat is. That's what we're looking at. Okay. Sometimes these stats get a little complicated, but I want to make sure we simplify them. All right. So again, so it is when they play a Power 4 team. Power 4 would be, let's see, SEC. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say ACC, SEC, Big 10, and Big 12.
Okay, so those are the 4 Power 4 conferences. So when they play each other, all right, the SEC they played 14 games between all the teams in the SEC outside of their conference against other Power 4 conferences, and they are 10-4.
Okay.
And there's only one other conference that has a winning record besides the SEC. You want to take a stab at it, sir?
Got to be the Big 10, right?
It's got to be the Big 10, right?
Yeah,
the Big 10's record is 5-7. It is not the Big 10.
Yeah, the bottom of the Big 10 is kind of weak this year.
Yes, it is.
The SEC is 10-4. That's with Florida State beating Alabama. So is the ACC? Yeah. Is the ACC?
The ACC is 5-14.
That's horrible. So the Big 12 has a winning record.
Big 12 is 8-6. That is correct.
And Arizona State should have beaten Mississippi State. They laid a brick early, so it should be even better.
So let's go over everything. Okay, SEC is 10-4. They have the best record. Big 12 is 8-6. The only 2 conferences with those winning records. The Big 10's 5-7. The American Conference is actually next. They're 6-11. Then it becomes the ACC at 5-14. The Mountain West is 4-12, and then we start really on a big decline, drop off wise here. So the MAC is. You ready? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's do the Sun Belt first. The Sun Belt is 1-16. The MAC. I had to get them all, man. I love stats. I had to get them all. So the MAC is 1-23. The Pac-12 is 0-8. And Conference USA is 0-11. So there's some really terrible conferences out there, but there's only 2 really good ones, it looks like, the SEC and the Big 12, as far as playing other Power 4 teams outside of their conference. I thought that was kind of telling.
I think the Big Ten's better than that, though. Like I said, the bottom of the Big Ten's pretty bad. There's a drop off after the 6 or 7 teams. So I don't have the list in front of me. I would like to see what teams played who, but that is interesting.
That would have taken half.
Yeah, the Big 12. We talked about the Big 12 is deep.
Yes, that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make. Is I think the Big 12 is better than what people give it credit for.
It is. I would agree.
All right, let me. I'm scrolling here to our poll question. Here we go. 58 votes on our poll question. This is how we'll close out our college football spread offense for the evening. When ranking college football teams in either the AP Top 25 or college football playoff, which of these factors is the most important? Now, we know that all three of these factors are important, but which one is the most important? And your choices were teams that you beat, teams you lose to, or the overall strength of schedule. Now, you and I are going to disagree on this because I know what you picked by what you said earlier, saying that it's the bottom of the barrel there. Tell me what you picked and why you picked it.
Teams you lose to. I feel it frustrates me. Like I mentioned earlier, Alabama lost to Florida State. Florida State's not very good. Everyone just forgets that. Oh, Alabama, the best one-loss team, because it was so long ago. It should be who you lose to when you evaluate who gets in the playoff or where they're seated. It should be who you lost to. I want a team that is consistent, that brings it every week. And who you beat, okay, is good, but not if you lose to someone bad. You beat two top 10 teams, fine. But if you lose to two teams with losing records, that should eliminate you. So I think getting upset, not showing up in a game should hurt teams more. I've always thought that way, and the people in the poll completely disagree with me. People in the poll seem to like maybe the BCS, which was very, very strict on strength of schedule. They really favored the teams that had harder schedules.
Yes. And that's what you're gonna see me go with. Okay. I agree with the whole strength of schedule thing. It is the overall resume. Well, it has now been confirmed. Oh man.
Chicks. Not girls, chicks. Yeah, it's like AC Slater said, Bill. He always called women chicks.
They dig the long ball, right?
Yes.
All right.
The babes.
So there's a team. Let me. Okay, so if your team had this schedule, wouldn't you want them to get some credit for it? Let's start there, right? So this team has played number 4 Alabama, number 21 Michigan, number 6 Oregon, and number 1 Ohio State so far. Those 4 games in the 10-week schedule. So they played Alabama, Michigan, Oregon, and Ohio State.
Wisconsin,
yes, that is true. So Wisconsin has had the highest strength of schedule, followed by Florida, South Carolina. You think about who they played this year.
Yeah, Florida.
And Alabama is actually number 4. Kentucky is 5th. Illinois is 6th. Arkansas 7. Auburn 8. Georgia 9. And LSU.
And Kentucky hasn't even played Louisville yet, who's only has 1 loss.
Right. So yeah, there's I would say strength of schedule. Let's see what our vast majority of our fans said. So teams you beat got 40%. Teams you lose to got 12%. There's not a lot of people that agree with you, sir, but I would put teams you lose to in front of teams you beat, to be honest. If I was saying 1, 2, and 3, it would be the strength of schedule, the teams you lose to, because you can lose to an awful team and it just wreck your entire season. And then teams you beat would be last for me. But our people said last is teams you lose, 12%. Teams you beat would fall in next at 40%. And then strength of schedule as well. That turned up 40%.
48%.
Or 48%. You're right.
So about half the people agree with you. Yeah, strength of schedule. I get it. You want to have a good schedule. I put that second too. So I agree with you. We have the same top two, just different order. Teams you beat would be my third. I mean, they're all important, but yeah, I get it.
So Dylan's Daily Lock said I'd lean toward teams you beat, and this is what we're going to start doing, ladies and gentlemen. You comment on our poll question, we're going to put you on Lights Out Sports, and then Chad at Braves 2430. We'll talk about the Braves here in just a few moments, so stick with us, Chad. Teams you beat, and then malicious bovine, malicious_bovine, BOVINE. All of those things go into why teams should or shouldn't be in the playoffs. But most important would be teams you lose to, because you can beat 3 or 4 ranked teams and lose to one non-ranked team and it end your chances of making it. And yes, I agree with that statement as well. So thank you to the, let's see here, the 59 people now who voted. Somebody jumped in there real quick as teams you beat and threw one in there for them.
Just last second, trying to
last second vote. We're good.
So now it's 47 and 41. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. With almost 60 votes and 900 people taking a look at it. So we appreciate all of that. It's only been out for roughly about 5 hours. So thank you guys very much. Continue to vote on it, and we'll put it up on our X page here shortly when it is all said and done. But we're done with college football spread offense.
We always do this. We're supposed to talk like 45 minutes college football. We always talk over an hour because there's so much to talk about. We do. And, yeah, but we love college football.
We do, man. We love sports. I mean, not so much hockey and not so much NBA or,
I haven't watched a hockey game in years.
I've watched a few, and usually a fight breaks out. That's the best part of it. So I don't mind that. But let's do me. How about you do me a favor real quick, buddy?
Yep.
And let's get ready. Let's get ready to jump in to our MLB 4-pitch talk.
Fire.
It's coming. You ready?
Do it. That's definitely not a Jamie Moyer festival.
All right, buddy. So we are going to kind of put a bow on the World Series here today. We are going to look at the spread when we talk about teams and their money between what it does in MLB and what it does in the NFL, because, of course, there's a salary cap in the NFL, makes a big difference. We're going to look at the Dodgers pitching disparity, and then we're going to look at the newest hire of the Atlanta Braves. All right, Chiefs. So let's dive into this with the music in the background and the ball of fire right behind us. It's a little hot in here, man. Anyway, maybe it's because of you, not the ball of fire. I don't know. That hair in you over there might be making you hot. I haven't decided yet.
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? All right, so
the viewers like my hair, and
they should. They absolutely should. Yeah. And they should laugh at mine and like yours. So.
What hair?
Right. What hair? I think I got more here than I do up here. I don't know. I got a little bit that's trying to hang on right there in the front. It's trying. It really is. So according to Fox Sports, 25.98 million viewers watched Game 7 of the World Series. It was the most watched World Series game since 2017. So I've got some questions about why exactly we tuned in so much when we complained about it so much. But geez, why did so many people complain about this series because of the money disparities, but yet so many people watched?
That's such a good question. I did get to Game 7, and it was such a good series throughout. And the Dodgers are going to bring viewers. They have a big market. And I think a lot of people wanted to see the Dodgers lose. And you mentioned 2017. That was Astros-Dodgers as well.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers do bring a market. And it's not necessarily teams wanting them to win. It's probably a lot of people just really wanting to lose. So tuning in, cheering for the other team. So, but it's very impressive.
Well, how about this? It was the only team in Canada versus a superpower of the United States. Do you think that drew some fans?
I think so. I think it helped. The Blue Jays have a lot of likable people, too.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of people that are fun to watch. It's a fun team to watch. I really enjoyed watching them in the playoffs. So it's not just, they're a Toronto team, a Canada team. They have players that I want to see. Trey Savage, the rookie. God, he's got great stuff. Obviously Vlad Jr., you got Bo Bichette. There's just a lot of really fun players to watch. Yeah.
I love Clement and Barger that was in there. I mean, these guys that seemingly came out of nowhere. I mean, most people probably don't know Barger was a shortstop. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, he can hit, so let's put him in right and see what happens.
And he made some really good plays in right, too.
He did.
Really Gold Glove caliber plays. So, I just think it was a fun series. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way I wanted.
Me either. All right. Third of 4 questions here about this World Series and the numbers in which it drew. Was it kind of like the Mike Tyson versus Logan Paul fight, to where we just wanted to see the Dodgers get the tar beat out of them, and we just kept tuning in to hope and cross our fingers that that's what happened?
Yes.
Wow. Have you seen the commercial between, that's like the DraftKings commercial with LeBron and what's the comedian's name? Chris?
The short one. The short guy?
The short one, yeah. And
he doesn't like cake from Jumanji.
Yes.
From the Jumanji movie. He can't eat cake. That guy.
Right, that guy. All right. So
why does his name escape me?
Chris Rock?
No, that's not Chris Rock.
Come on.
Oh my God!
Someone
help me out.
What is it? I mean, we got 150
weakness is
people
cake.
watching us live right
weakness
now.
is cake. Hold on,
Yes.
I'm looking it up. I don't know why I can't think of it.
Yeah, we're climbing and climbing and climbing. We have the
nobody watching. It's like
we have
Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart. I looked it up.
We have the third highest.
Yes, I've seen that commercial
out there right now.
To answer your question, yes, they're watching because they were hoping that someone could knock the Dodgers off, and the Blue Jays absolutely should have won. They should have won the watch-along game where they won 18 innings. They should have won 2 of the games they lost.
Yes. We're going to do some more watch-along stuff, especially if, ESPN and YouTube can get their crap together. Because, okay, so Cheese, let me hit on this for just a second, right? If you, let's say you bought tickets to a game out here in Arizona, right? You wanted to come out and watch football in Arizona. You'd never been to Arizona, never been to State Farm Stadium. All right, I bought tickets. I went to ticket. We'll just plug Tickets for Less, right? And we say, okay, we went to Tickets for Less and we got some tickets. And then the 2 days before you came out here with me, after you bought the flight and after you'd done this and the hotel reservations and you rented a car and you did all that stuff, then Tickets for Less said, you know what? I know we promised you those tickets and you've already paid for them, but we're just not going to do that. You'd be upset. And that's the way I feel right now with YouTube TV. I think they're the best bargain. I don't know what you use as far as how you get your sports and stuff like that. That's what I use. I like them. I think they're the best bargain. They allow me to also get Sunday Ticket and all that kind of stuff. So that's the streaming service that I chose. And then all of a sudden, all these ESPN programs want to pull out. And I am not. Let me be really clear about this. I don't care what you people do. I'm not buying another streaming service. I am not going to do the ESPN app for like $35 a month. Not going to do it. I don't care. I'll cancel everything first and just slap an antenna on the TV and do it that way. If that's what I have to do. I hope it's not, but
and
I'm not buying
that's
it.
probably what they want you to do. And
Well, I know it's what
it
they
might
want.
be like Disney is so poor. Disney is so poorly run. Starts with Bob Iger, the team. It's so poorly run in all aspects, and it's backfiring on them. Disney's not having a good week.
No, they're losing. I read somewhere where they're losing like $5 million a day every day they're not on YouTube, and YouTube is now kind of.
But no, but you mentioned the app. Most people are not signing up for it. That's what they probably are hoping for. They're not. And Disney Plus is losing subscribers. It's doing terrible. And their content, their original content is awful. A lot of their content is just really bad. So, yeah.
Now, Cheese, there could have been a fourth reason I think that people tuned in for Game 7, and it's this one. What about the historic value of it? If the Dodgers guys, they did win and they won back to back. It's one of those things in sports where like, okay, where were you when this happened in sports, right? And I think a lot of people want to be, where were you when the Dodgers went back to back?
Where was I?
Well, yeah.
I was watching the game.
Yes.
Sitting
Watching
here.
the game from the comfort of your home, wearing whatever you want, drinking out of your Spidey cup, and yeah.
Yeah, I was messaging friends that were watching the game, and one of my friends, Fries, that's what we call him. He lives in Canada. He's a big Blue Jays fan, and he was not happy. It was tough. So it was just messing with my friends really, and it was just tough watching because I don't know anyone, not one person, that was going for the Dodgers. I have friends that are fans of probably 15, 20 teams, and I don't know anyone that wanted the Dodgers to win. So I don't think 20 years from now I'll think, where was I when that happened? But I just wish it had gone differently. And
so you are listening to Lights Out Sports right now. You can go to our YouTube page. We've got a ton of people on X. That's what I can see right at the moment. But go over to our YouTube page, youtube.com.
YouTube.com.
Yeah, youtube.com, and you can search or you can put the slash in and go All Gloves Off Sports Media. That's how you get to us. I don't want to look and see if they've changed our subscription numbers again, but hopefully they have, and we're going to gain some people from all of this right at the moment. Hopefully, now I've got a couple sponsors that we're looking at, and they're looking at all of this and seeing all these numbers, and you guys are going to help us hopefully get some sponsorship and be able to move forward. I've got one more thing that I want to tell you. Cheese, remind me at the end of the Major League Baseball segment before we get into your football. You don't know this one yet, but we're going a step further, and that's I'll save it for a moment until we do it here in a second. But we're going a step further this week.
And you said State Farm Stadium in Arizona?
Yes.
Who knows? If this takes off, it could be All Gloves Off Sports Media Stadium in the future.
There you go.
Never know.
You never know.
It might take the naming rights from State Farm.
I'm sure it will only cost a few, $100 million or something like that. Not a big deal.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Right. All right. So, Cheese, I want to go into this topic here. Let's look at the spread between Major League Baseball and the National Football League. All right, there's been a lot of talk over the last week or so with the Dodgers going to the World Series, and they have the second highest payroll. Of course, the Mets had the highest payroll and didn't quite make it. But in Major League Baseball, the spread between the highest payroll and the lowest payroll, the Mets had $350 million in payroll, and the Florida Marlins had $68 million in payroll. So a huge disparity. In the NFL, it's much smaller. From the first place team, as far as money spent, to the last place team in the NFL, as far as money spent, it's only a $52 million difference. How does that affect the product on the field between Major League Baseball and the NFL?
Well, NFL has a salary cap, so there's a hard cap. You can't go above that. That's why the difference. It definitely has an effect in baseball. But because so many franchises are poorly run, and because the quarterback position is so important, the bad teams don't have good quarterbacks because of that. It's actually not that much difference. The worst teams in the NFL versus the best, and in baseball, it's really not. It's about the same. And that's because, to me, of the quarterback position. There's no position in baseball that's as important as a quarterback in the NFL. So if you have Josh Allen, versus if you have Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shuck, like just the Saints, like the difference is huge between those franchises, even though the salaries aren't. It's a different sport, and baseball, like the Marlins. Okay, I'll say this: the Marlins should not be spending $68 million. They should be spending at least double that. At least that's pathetic. But the Mets shouldn't be able to spend as much as they do either.
So with everything in football, right? And you're pointing all that out as far as like, there's a hard cap and all of that kind of thing. But I know that, and I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. But I'm going to either tonight or I'm going to watch it on my way to work tomorrow. You put out a video about the Eagles because they've made, I believe, 4 trades during this trade deadline. And not only do you talk about the trades that they made, but you basically said Howie Roseman's the smartest GM out there. Mm-hmm. He is very creative, and that team is very creative with how they do the money. So even though there's a cap, NFL teams can still kind of maneuver around the cap, right?
If you have a good cap guy, if you're smart, yeah. Some teams, I mentioned the Saints, somehow almost every year they're over the cap. I don't know how. Mm-hmm. If you have a good cap guy, and somehow the Eagles, they're paying all these stars, and I'm looking, they're $20-30 million under the cap next year, which gives them flexibility. So it really depends how you structure contracts. Now, maybe down the line they'll be hurt. Maybe there's some void years, maybe 2028, 2029, maybe they're hurt. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of maneuverability, and you can sign someone to a contract and you can restructure it every year. You can restructure and push money into future years.
Well, not just that, but if I remember correctly, bonuses don't count against the cap, right?
It's really complicated. Some do. It's pretty, yeah, they do, but it's real complicated. I could do an hour-long show on the cap, and I would say I'm a B student when it comes to salary cap, and I've studied a lot. It is really complicated. I remember when void years first started, I was like, wait, what's going on? There's so many things. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty tricky, but if you have a really smart cap guy, it can be beneficial, and the Eagles definitely do.
Okay. So in Major League Baseball, in the playoffs itself, the higher payroll team won 8 of the 11 series. And as far as the individual games go in the playoffs, the higher payroll team went 28-19 in the playoffs. That's from our buddy at CLE_Rich Sports, RICH. So it's at CLE_RICH SPORTS, a big Cleveland guy. So if you like the Cleveland Indians, Guardians, and yeah.
No, Rich has great trivia. He does trivia like 3 or 4 times a week on X. So definitely give him a follow.
Yes. So what do you think about them going the higher seed or the higher payroll going 8-3 and then 28-19 in the playoffs? I mean, so my point to you is, Cheese, once you get to the playoffs, these are supposed to be the best of the best teams. And even some of these lower payroll teams that spend their money well should be able to compete, but it kind of seemed like they didn't, right?
Yeah, the Reds and the Brewers both weren't going to beat the Dodgers. Those series weren't close. The Reds only had 2, a 3-game series, but yeah, there was a big talent difference in those series. The lineup for the Dodgers and the lineup for the Brewers was night and day difference, what they could do. So I can't just, I'll go off talking about the CBA and what the changes to be made.
We'll have to do a show on this because
we were going to do a show on this. But yeah, it's not surprising when you sent me those stats.
So next to the last thing here, regular season, the top 5 salary teams went 460 and 350. So they won 110 more games than they lost between those 5 top salary teams, while the bottom 5 salary teams went 363 and 447. So if you're a gambling person and you just simply bet the team that spends more money, I would think that's all it's going to take to win yourself some cash.
Well, and Tampa Bay skewed it. They're a bottom 5 payroll team, I believe, and they actually had
believe
a
so.
decent team. So they even skewed it a little bit, even more.
Mhm.
Tampa always seems to have a good team despite not spending money because they're well run. You know, they
Yeah.
develop very good at developing bats. But yeah, you're right. It's a big problem with baseball, and that's why, you know, some teams might go for it next year because the next year we might not have baseball.
Stop that. Don't be speaking that crud into existence. All
There
right.
needs to be change. And Scott Boras has too much power. But that's we'll make a show about that.
We will. I want to give some people some things on baseball. There was a ton of stuff that we could have talked about that we did not. So let me just take about a minute and a half and throw some things out there. So the Braves have exercised the club option on Ozzie Albies today. Jack Flannery has decided that he is going to go back to the Tigers. He's not going to opt out. A lot of these guys have opted out. He said no. Trevor Story also did the same thing. He is going to stay with Boston. Now he's going to get like 3 years, 57 million or something like that. So don't feel sorry for him, but he's going to stay there with Boston. Flannery's going to get 20
I think they wanted him
too.
to opt out. I think they wanted him to opt out.
Probably so.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen, Yu Darvish is going to have to go under the knife and do UCL surgery, the same one that Shohei Ohtani had. He's going to get the internal brace. He'll be out for all of next year. The Orioles actually made a trade with your Cubs, and they reacquired Andrew Kittredge.
Yeah, the Cubs didn't want to pay him. The Cubs didn't want to pay him, and the Orioles.
No, they did not.
The Orioles are willing to do it. Yep. The Cubs are interesting. The Cubs have a lot of payroll room all of a sudden, so that will be interesting.
Yeah,
I think they're going to
go
go
be
after
interesting to see what they do with it.
Yep.
We'll talk about that as well here in an upcoming show. Okay. White Sox exercised the club option on Luis Robert Jr. today. The Braves have named a new manager. We'll talk about that here in a moment. Let's see here. The Brewers exercised the option on Freddie Peralta. Ha-Seong Kim opted out. Pete Alonso opted out. Cody Bellinger opted out of the Yankees deal. He would make like, I believe, $25 million, and he opted out of that deal. He actually did that yesterday.
He wants a long-term deal. Yeah.
Yeah. He wants a long-term deal. And then I did think it was interesting that Edwin Diaz of the New York Mets opted out of his deal. 2 years left in that contract, but it did have an opt-out clause in it, and he exercised it. So a lot of different things that we could have talked about. I guess we didn't skip over because I just talked about him some, but I just wanted to throw some of those things out there before we go into our next topic here, which is the disparity of the Dodgers pitching. Just real quick
to add to that, I just want to add something. With him opting out and Suarez also for the Padres.
Ranger Suarez.
Ranger Suarez. This is going to be one of the best free agent reliever markets I've ever seen.
Yes.
It's going to be, there's so many good relievers, but it's really, really weak at bats. If you need a bat, it's just not a great free agent class, but there's a lot of good relievers in free agency.
Yes, there are. Liam Neeson, I know, is out there too. He opted out. So, I mean, I know he's gone
Liam Neeson?
Liam Neeson.
I really like him in Taken. He's a very good actor.
Oh, man.
Northern Irish actor, very good.
Yeah. Really I'll look it up and tell you who it is in a second.
Taken's one of my favorite movies. So yeah.
Yes, I like that movie as well. But it wasn't Liam Neeson. It's the closer that was with the White Sox that underwent the
Liam Hendricks.
Liam Hendricks. Thank you. Okay, I didn't have to look it up. You saved me. I appreciate the save, sir. So, how do you think Major League Baseball needs to fix this payroll disparity? Do they need to get it closer to where the NFL is? How do they do that without doing a salary cap? Because the Players Association is never going to go for that.
We'll make a show about this. I'll just say this real quick. They need to do what the NBA does. Make max contracts and have more penalties if you go over certain, barriers. Have penalties. You can only, like the NBA, if you have max salaries. So when you have max salaries, basically you can't make any money anywhere else. So more likely to re-sign with your own team. Second thing they do is they have floors of the cap. Once you hit another floor, you're penalized. That means you can only sign certain free agents at a maximum amount. Like you can't sign this guy for 10 million. You can only sign him for 5. But if you're below the floor, below the apron, you can sign this guy for 10. Like they have penalties. That's what they need to do. They need to really penalize the teams that go over, making it harder for them to sign free agents. So that's what they need to do. And teams like the Mets, Dodgers, and Yankees, they're just going to, they don't care. The penalties, they don't care. They don't care if their draft pick drops 10 spots in the first round. They don't care if they pay taxes. They don't care. They're just going to keep signing people.
Yep. Okay. I agree. I mean, we'll kind of keep that under wraps a little bit. Like you said, we'll get into it a whole lot more on another show. We might even do a separate show than what we're doing right now. We may do something dedicated just to the MLB off season. But there is a way that you can fix it. I'm going to do what you did. I'm just going to say that there needs to be a floor. Like you said, the Marlins should be spending more than $68 million. Yes, there needs to be a minimum that you must spend for every team. So,
correct. And if for people that don't know this, the luxury tax, when you pay it, when those teams like the Dodgers, Mets pay it, they give it to the teams that don't have the revenue, and most of their owners put it in their pocket. They don't spend it on the team, and that's ridiculous. That's why, obviously, you said there needs to be a floor. You cannot have a $68 million payroll. It needs to be double that. Like minimum should be at least like $125 million.
Yes. Okay. We'll get into that more in another show, but I wanted to kind of preview that here tonight. The third of 4 here in our MLB 4-pitch talk. This will be a little shorter for us here. The Dodgers pitching disparity. And I want to give you the Game 7 summary here. So according to the Garrative 9, that is the web address, the THE, then it's GARRATIVE and the number 9. All right, he gave us this stat. The Dodgers used the following pitchers in Game 7. So that, of course, they started with the $700 million guy, right, with Ohtani. Then after him, they went to an $182 million pitcher. After that, they brought in a $136.5 million pitcher. And then they went back and they brought in their $325 million pitcher. All of that to win Game 7. There's a little bit of a disparity in this pitching here. You want to add anything to that, talk about it, or are we just going to let the numbers speak for itself?
I'll just say this. I don't like the Japanese system where you can just post someone, you get anyone for free. You just get them for free. The Japanese system, you don't have to do international bonus. You just get them. If you just spend 20 million and then you can negotiate with them and you basically get them for free. Look, one of the teams I like is the Cubs. They got Imanga and Seiya Suzuki basically for free, just money. That's all it costs is money.
Right. No prospects, nothing like that.
No prospect, international bonus money. So all these countries like Venezuela and Dominican Republic, you have to use international bonus money. But Japan, no. Everyone that's a Japanese player ends up with 6 to 8 teams. That's it. That have the most money. And how is that fair? You're just given. And when they signed Sasaki, he immediately became the best prospect in baseball, number 1. And the Dodgers got him for free. Nothing. You got the best prospect in baseball.
Yep.
Boom.
And Yamamoto was by far the MVP of that of the World Series.
And you know what? The Cubs tried to sign him, but they weren't even going like above 200 million. The Dodgers gave him 325. So the Cubs really wanted him. They only signed Imanga because they didn't get Yamamoto. They didn't come close. 325. The rumor was they were around 200 million, but the Dodgers were like just outbid everyone. Of course he was going to be a Dodger. Everyone knew it. Everyone knew Ohtani was going to sign with the Dodgers after leaving the Angels. Everyone knew Sasaki was going to be a Dodger. Everybody knew all 3 of those players, which were instrumental in winning the World Series, were going to be a Dodger. That needs to change.
And I saw our guys over at the Red Hot Reds podcast when, right after the Dodgers won, I believe it was Ricky Logan that put it out there. It might have been Roger. But they said, why even watch the games when we all knew who was going to win? I think that's a problem, too. If you can almost predict who's going to win, like, can you do that with the NFL right now? Do you think you know who's going to win? And no. See, I don't.
No,
I don't
the
think so
Chiefs
either.
will be in the Super Bowl because of the rest. But
Well.
no, but you make a good point. Do you remember when we did are top 10 contenders. I put the Dodgers one because of this reason. And
Mhm.
my prediction was Blue Jays Dodgers in the World Series. And the Dodgers were not, they didn't get a bye. They weren't even a top 2 seed, but I still saw them because I looked at the pitching. I looked at the talent on the roster. Yeah, that's a problem. I knew they were going to beat the Brewers. I knew it. So yeah, it is a problem that it's pretty much a given when you get in these series. If the Dodgers are healthy, they're probably going to be in the World Series.
And then we're going to do that again here in just a moment. We're going to do our lights out list. And of course, that is our version of the top 10. And tonight, we're going to do the top 10 contenders in the NFL now that the trade deadline has happened. Did that change our list that we put out before at the beginning of the season? We'll look at that here in just a few moments. And for all the fans who are with us right now on X, almost 120 of you, you can be putting your list together too and have it all there when we get to that. Put the comments up there. And of course, as long as you're talking about what we're talking about, we'll include you in the show. Last thing here, sir. I know you're a Braves and Cubs guy, right? So I'm a Reds, Diamondbacks guy. You're a Braves, Cubs guy. The Braves hired Walt Weiss to replace Snitker. So I'm going to ask you 4 questions about this hire.
As the manager.
Yes, as the manager of the Atlanta Braves. So Snitker is 69, and he's being replaced by Walt Weiss, who is 61. Do you like that, or did they need a younger guy? Did they need a guy with a different voice? How do you view a 69-year-old guy being replaced by a 61-year-old guy?
I could just go off and talk forever. I'll try to keep it quick here, but it's an awful hire. It's not sexy. It's someone that's been there for 8 years as the bench coach, been with the organization since he was fired from the Rockies. I wanted something different. I wanted someone younger, more analytical, more strategy based. Okay. Snitker was very old school. Very liked him a lot. The players liked playing for him, does everything, just the old school way, just typical. I think they needed someone. They needed a new school manager. And I can't stand it. It's the last person I would hire. It was a disaster this year. It's going to be more of the same. I mean, obviously he hasn't managed a game yet, but he was the last person this way. He was the last person I wanted. There was a rumor they were looking at more younger guys. There was a rumor they were going to hire the bench coach of the Dodgers, who's 40 years old, who's more analytical, because Dave Roberts, very analytical guy, manager of the Dodgers. That their system. So I really wanted either Dave Martinez or Brendan Hyde. Those were the guys that I think they very good managers got a raw deal when they got fired. And so I am not happy.
All right. Let's see here. Walt Weiss actually turned down the Marlins interview a few years ago. And as you mentioned, he's been the bench coach since 2018. So what about rewarding someone who has been loyal to the organization, just like they did with Snitker? Are you against that? Do you just not like that? I mean, where do you fall as far as the loyalty to the organization?
Loyalty, it's about getting the best manager. It's not about loyalty. Oh, this guy's loyal. Let's just give him the job. I hate that. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, they did win a World Series with Snitker. They didn't win it because of Snitker. Trust me. They won it because they traded for Jorge Soler and Eddie Rosario, who just went off in the playoffs. Yep. And of course, they had Freddie Freeman. Dansby Swanson did really well, too. Max Fried, they had some pieces, but if they don't trade for Eddie Rosario or Jorge Soler, they don't come close to winning that World Series. That's why they won. I don't like it. Loyalty it's good, but you don't give someone a job. Oh, he's been loyal. People like him. A lot of people like Walt Weiss. Chipper Jones on X loved to hire because they like him. The players like him. That's fine. But the Braves have so many problems, and it's gotten worse the last few years. And they needed a new voice in there. They need a new hitting coach, new pitching coach, everything. They need a whole new coaching staff, in my opinion. And it's probably going to be the same guys. And to me, that's a problem. And I know the main reason they were bad this year was because of pitching injuries. But even if the pitching's healthy, to me, they look like an 81 and 81 team. I'm calling it right now. They're going to go 81-81 next year. Average. There you go.
Okay. So I guess it's going to lead me to my next question, which is, do you have faith that Weiss can actually turn this team around?
No.
All right, we'll just move on. That was a straight no. And to be honest with you, I agree with you. I don't think he's got anything else. I don't see him coming in with fire. I don't see him, turning over tables or anything like that. I agree with you 100%. It's going to be basically status quo. And didn't the Braves already realize that status quo is not going to get them where they need to go? I don't know why they did this. I'm not saying they needed to go out and get some 24-year-old kid, but I think they needed to get someone who would do the analytics and things like that.
Like the Ravens, the Orioles and Nationals went after some younger, more analytical guys. And that's the way the league is trending, more analytical.
Mm-hmm.
And those teams went after that. And I like those. Look, they were young. Those are risk hires. I can't remember which one of them hired the guy from the Indians. I can't remember their names. But anyway, but I still like that approach. Try something different because it wasn't working. And the Braves are, going, oh, it's just same old. It's not going to improve anything.
Right. So, I'm with you. I think there's a lot of young players that had a lot of injuries this year. But I think a lot of these younger players are going to come back, and I'm not sure if Walt Weiss is going to be able to speak their language. A little bit of a breaking news here. Frankie Montas has actually exercised his $17 million player option for 2026. And I will say, of course he has, because he's going to miss the entire season after recovering from elbow surgery. So, of course, he opted in, right?
That was the least shocking thing I've ever heard.
The Brewers declined Jose Quintana's option, by the way. So, as we're putting some stuff in here, and then I'm reading some things. So
I would as well.
Right, I would have as well. All right, so no faith that he can turn the team around. So then, how about this? This will be our final question for our MLB 4-pitch talk, and then we'll jump into your NFL segment here in just a moment, of course, our NFL 4-down territory. So, Cheese, what are your expectations for Walt Weiss and the Atlanta Braves in 2026? What do you think they can accomplish? High ceiling. What's the ceiling?
Maybe 80, 89 wins, maybe. Chris Sale would have to stay healthy. A lot of things would have to go right. I don't know. I don't know their offseason moves. That's the thing, is they really need a shortstop. They're probably going to need a DH. They don't have a very good bullpen. The ceiling's probably 88, 89, but they're not one of those teams that's going to just win 96, 97 games. Heck no. But they just had a lot of guys that had down years, and I wanted just a new manager, somebody new that would get the best out of Ozzie Albies and Michael Harris, who had bad years, a new hitting coach, just something, somebody new. And I don't understand. Alex Anthopoulos just needs to go. He just needs to go. I know he did a great job with the trades and they won a World Series, but he didn't build the team. John Hart did. And I don't think he's doing a good job. I just think he needs to go.
All right. So that's what we're doing there. That is the end of our MLB 4-pitch talk. Sir, this is where you start asking the questions and we flip the tables here, and we're going to do it with our NFL 4-down territory. Turn that down a little bit in the background. We'll look at the different things that we are going to do on this particular segment. Let me kind of set this up for a second, and then I'll let you go, buddy. We're going to look at the trade deadline. We're going to talk about the Cardinals and the Bengals. And then, of course, we can't have an NFL show that Cheese does without bashing the Chicago Bears at least a little. So, we're gonna talk a little Chicago Bears before it's all said and done as well, buddy.
I'm not going to bash Chicago Bears. Actually, I'm not bashing the Bears, but we have to talk about something because something interesting happened.
I've seen the notes. You are kind of going to do it. You're just going to use another vessel to do it with. So, okay. Where do you want to start at, bud?
Yeah. NFL trade deadline was today, came and went, ended at 4 Eastern. Get right to it. What was the best move in your opinion?
Oh, wait, I got to go back to these notes over here. I thought I was on the right thing. I got to go back. So there was in my opinion, the Indianapolis Colts made the best move today. They went out to the New York Jets and they got Sauce Gardner. I don't know if you know this or not. I know you're the big guru and everything else when it comes to football, but I've got a stat for you on Sauce Gardner and the reason why I think it's really going to make a difference. And that is this. Sauce Gardner has not allowed more than 2 receptions on the receiver that he has covered all year long. That is the definition, Cheese, of a shut-down corner. The Colts are already pretty good. That was probably where they were the most deficient at, was in their secondary. And they went out, saw a need, got somebody. They gave up a lot, but they got somebody to solve that need. So I applaud the Indianapolis Colts for going out and doing that.
It was a bold move, gave up a lot, but he is so good in man-to-man coverage. He is incredible. He fits their scheme. So, yeah, I really like the move. I don't love giving up as much as they did, but I get it. So I'm going to go with the New York Jets. Why not? Kind of the opposite. Look,
okay,
you are not a good team or a good defense with Sauce Gardner or Quinnen Williams. So they have a new GM. He just took over this year. If you're not good with them, you're 1-7. Okay, get what you can. This roster needs a lot of help. They need a quarterback. They need a lot. They now have 2 first-rounders next year, 2 seconds, and 3 first-rounders in 2027. With those picks,
be that way. I had the same stat pulled up, but you just rattled off. I was going to give it to you, but you beat me to the punch.
I have it in my head. I've been making videos all about the Jets today. I've been praising them. Yeah, I have some friends that are Jets fans, so I need to message them, find out if they're happy or not. But I mean, it's bittersweet because I'm sure they have their jerseys. Sauce Gardner's #1 jersey. But when you're a bad team, the best thing you can do is build through the draft. With those picks, they can not only build through the draft, if they want to trade up or trade for a player in the future, they can do it. They have so much draft capital. There's so much you can do when you have all those picks. Now, obviously, it's no guarantee. You have to draft the right players. And Joe Douglas wasn't the answer to the last GM, but they have a new GM. They can completely redo this roster. And they're not as good as the Bills or Patriots, not even close. So why not rebuild, take 2 or 3 years, and use these picks and redo the roster? So I really like the Jets' approach.
Now, I didn't get to see this today. I have heard about it on 2 or 3 different spots here on our social media. Again, that is at All Gloves Off SM is where you can get us at on Twitter. We've got over 7,700 people following us right the moment. I've got a lot of notes from people, especially after I kind of went on my little rant about YouTube there for a second. But I guess Pat McAfee attacked ESPN on his show today, saying that they were greedy was the word that he used. And of course, he is broadcast on ESPN. So I would love to say that I'm going to.
He does college game days. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you. He does college game day for ESPN.
He makes college game day for ESPN.
He does, because the old guy puts the hat on is gone.
Yeah, of course so. Yeah, he's not there anymore. So
yeah, he is college game. You're right. No one watches for Desmond Howard.
I'm going to have to go to YouTube or something and get that clip, because God knows I can't go to ESPN and do it or anything. So yeah, I'm gonna put this phone away here. I'm going to concentrate with you and me, and we're going to do the NFL stuff here at the end. Sit that over there. Okay. All right.
What was the biggest head-scratching move of the deadline?
To me, the biggest head scratching move. Okay, so let's set this up for a second. We're going to talk about Arizona specifically here in a few moments, and I don't want to get too far ahead of this. But they had a big game last night. They held an offense to what I believe the Dallas Cowboys averaged like 30 some points per game, and they held them to basically 10 points. 10 because points. of the blocked kick. It got them 7. So when you've got a defense like that can do that. Now, I know they had an extra week to prepare, but they got the new kid from Georgia in there. He had some sparks of brilliance in that game, and they had they had the connection between Brissett and Marvin Harrison Jr. and all of that. I kind of wanted to see them go after somebody today. Not that they had to give up like a first-round pick or anything like that, because that'd be kind of dumb to risk that. But I thought the head-scratching move for me today is I thought they could have gone to Tennessee and could have gotten Pollard, the running back, from them, and just given up like a 5th or 6th round pick or something like that, and could have added to that offensive. They need a little more punch, I think, on the offensive side of the ball. I was a little disappointed that the Arizona Cardinals didn't make a smaller move like that today.
No, Democrato looked really good yesterday, though.
He did.
We know that one dumb play he did against the Titans, but he looked pretty good. And I think Trey Benson's going to be back at some point. Could be wrong, but I get it. My head scratching move, and I'm not going to go. I'm going to talk 30 seconds about it. You can check out my channel. I break it down more. But the Jets-Cowboys trade for Quinnen Williams. The Cowboys gave up 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons and gave up a 1st and a 2nd for Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams is a good player. He is not on level Micah Parsons, and you gave up almost as much. Absolutely ridiculous. And the Cowboys defense, God, it was so bad last night. It's a bad defense. Even with him, it's not good. They're 3-5-1. You pretty much have to win 10 games to make the playoffs because the NFC is so deep. So that means they have to go 10-6-1. Basically, they can only lose one more game. Their schedule's brutal. But it's not going to help them make the playoffs. Stupid. And the Cowboys are already over the cap next year and have to take on that money. So it doesn't make any sense to me. They should use the picks, get younger, and build through the draft. Okay. Which team? Oh, okay. I guess you kind of answered this question.
Well, you're going to set me up really well for the next one. So go ahead.
Oh, okay. Oh, which team should have made a move but did not? You kind of already did one. Do you have another one?
Well, I've got a couple of things here, and okay. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm afraid I'm going to take your thunder here because I think you're going to say the same thing because I know you on this football stuff really well. I think the Bengals and the Cowboys should have followed the Jets' lead. You alluded to it a few moments ago. The Cowboys aren't going to make the playoffs. What in the world are they doing? The Bengals, as much as I want to see them come back and, Burrow comes back and they just go into this big flurry and they make the playoffs, I really don't foresee that happening either. I don't know why they didn't trade Trey Hendrickson. To be honest, I don't know why they didn't trade Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's trade value is going to be, no higher than what it is right now.
Wow. Trade Flacco right back. Trade him again.
I would have.
He's already been traded 3 times in his career, man.
Yeah, why not make it 4? He's used to it by this point. So, I would have traded the kitchen sink away. We'll go over some numbers here when we get to some other stuff. We start talking about the Bengals here in a little bit, but crazy stuff, and I don't understand why the Bengals and Cowboys didn't follow the Jets' lead.
Yeah, I thought about that. The rumor was they would have moved Hendrickson for a 1st-round pick, but no one's going to give a 1st-round pick for a free agent that's not guaranteed to resign.
Correct.
And they're going to get a 3rd-round compensatory pick anyway. So I guess they're like, well, a 2nd-round pick in 2026 isn't so much better than a 3rd round in 2027. That's probably why they didn't do it. So I get it, but I agree with you. They should have moved him. But no, my team is the same division. The Pittsburgh Steelers need another offensive weapon. They have DK Metcalf, but even watching Metcalf, he's been inconsistent this year. He looks good in some games, other games he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I really think they needed to get another weapon, another wide receiver, maybe someone that had played with Rodgers in the past, somebody to help stretch the defense. And so I'm a little surprised because the Steelers have to be all in this year, right? So I'm a little surprised that
they need to be.
Yeah, they need to be. The Steelers did not make a move. I'm sure they tried, but some teams like the Steelers, who are a draft and develop team, they don't want to give up much. They're willing to take players, but they're not going to give up a 4 and a 6 for Jacoby Myers like the Jaguars did. They're just not. The Steelers would have probably given up maybe a 5th and a 7th, but they're not going to give up that much. So, all right.
I didn't really agree with the Jaguars move anyway. I know you break it down a lot more on your channel. That was one of the 4 videos I think you put out today. I mean,
3. I did a 4th. I did a 4th. I didn't have time to publish it before we started. Yeah, the Jaguars would have been my answer, but then the Cowboys made their crazy move for the head scratching. Let's talk the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, that game they pretty much dominated last night, but Jacoby Brissett today was named the starting quarterback of the Cardinals going forward by head coach Jonathan Gannon. Pretty simple. Do you agree with this move?
Of course I do.
Okay.
Well, I'll just say yes. You got some more follow-up questions,
okay.
So
all right.
Well, I'll let you do some follow-up questions here, buddy.
So it's obvious to me, and I think you'll agree, he has more chemistry with Marvin Harrison, or Marvin Harrison Jr. has more chemistry with Jacoby Brissett than he does with Kyler Murray. They seem to be on the same page in that game. Watching that game, Marvin Harrison Jr. had a big game, and Aiken was talking about it. He's like, wow, they're just connecting. Marvin Harrison Jr. he's just getting open. It's just working. So do you think that had anything to do with the decision?
Jonathan Gannon even said that it had something to do with the decision today. I watched his press conference. He came on the radio too as I was driving home. Shout out to 98.7 FM that I listen to all the time. He was on there with Burns and Gambo. If you, I'll do the show and everything for him.
Burns and Gambo.
Yeah, Burns and Gambo. That's the name of the 2 guys that are on there. It's kind of like Valentine and Cheese. So
Cheese and Valentine
doesn't have a bad ring to it. It might be better as cheese and Valentine, but
Valentine with cheese.
Ooh, okay. Calm down. You're getting me excited here. So Gannon even said, basically the offense, he's really happy where the offense is right now. It seems to be flowing better, but I think Jacoby is better for the offensive scheme. You were talking about schemes earlier, and I was going to ask you about it a little bit, but I decided not to ask you when you were like, hey, this guy fits better. When you said Sauce Gardner fits better with the Colts scheme, right? I would say Jacoby Brissett fits better in the Arizona Cardinals scheme. He's able to read the defense and look back, like the touchdown to Marvin Harrison that I don't know if you watched the Manning cast. I saw the highlight of it today. Because, again, I couldn't watch it live. So I was looking at a bunch of clips and stuff on social media today. Oh, man, I just lost the quarterback for Tampa Bay was on the Manning cast.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield, thank you. And he called that touchdown. Like before it ever happened, he's like, look, you got Harrison one-on-one. He's going to break over to the middle. And I mean, it was beautiful. He did. He stutter stepped and broke right over to the middle.
Fell down, and he got the corner to fall down. He was such a good route. We've been waiting for this from Marvin Harrison Jr. because he did it in college.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that is what really made the decision more than anything else. And they're saying now, whether they're saying this just because they need to or whatever, we'll talk about Kyler in a moment. But I will say that Jonathan Gannon also said that Kyler Murray was not fully healthy and that it could take up to 8 weeks, and they didn't want him playing and then re-aggravating his foot and keeping him out for the rest of the year. We'll talk about Kyler more in a moment, but that's what Jonathan Gannon said in the press conference.
I don't know if I buy that last part, but a few weeks back, you mentioned to me that you thought the Cardinals should entertain trading Kyler Murray. Have you completely given up on him as the Cardinals quarterback? And 2-part question, were you disappointed they didn't maybe move him at the deadline?
I was disappointed they didn't move him. I thought there was a chance that they might be able to move him. That's a lot of money, and I'm sure it's going to be some kind of complicated deal when it's all said and done. Probably not something that you can do mid-season during a trade deadline. You're probably going to have to wait till the off-season to get all that stuff put together. As far as giving up on him, I will make that determination at the end of the season. And here's why. I think it's going to be interesting for Kyler Murray, the guy who's never lost in high school, the guy who has always won in college. And all of a sudden, even if he does come back healthy, like let's say he's healthy in 4 weeks, I don't think Jonathan Gannon's going to go back to him. He kind of set it up today like he's not going to go back to him. And I think there's two reasons for that. I think they basically want to keep him in bubble wrap so that they can trade him. I mean, the last thing they want to do is have him get hurt at the end of the season and then try to trade him in the offseason. That just kills his value. So I really think they're going to set him off to the side, put him in bubble wrap, tell him not to move. But how is he going to accept that? Or is he going to accept that? Is he going to scrub himself on social media again? You know, is he going to do something that a 20-year-old kid would do and make me look at him and say, man, accept your backup role, wait until you get traded in the offseason and shut your mouth? Or is he going to start running his mouth and saying how terrible this organization is and nobody gave me a chance and all of this? So that's the reason why I'm going to tell you I've not given up on him. I want to see how he's going to accept this backup role, and then I'll make my decision.
Yeah, I just don't buy that he's not 100% healthy. I don't know what to do with Kyle Murray. I'll say this about him.
Mm-hmm.
If they do shop him, 7 or 8 teams are going to call and be interested because there are a lot of teams that need quarterbacks.
Really?
And he has, yeah.
With that contract?
Yes. They might ask Arizona to eat some. I don't know, but I'll say there are so many teams that need quarterbacks every year. And he has had some years where he looked like a good quarterback, maybe not elite, but he looked like a top 10 quarterback. He had a few years where he looked really good. So, of course, he's been hurt a lot since. I think there'll be interest. I'd say at least 3 or 4 teams will be aggressive to try to trade for him the offseason.
Well, let me give you his contract, and then you tell me if you still think people will be interested.
Okay.
I've got it right here in front of me, right? So he has a 5-year contract that takes him to 2028.
Okay.
The total value of that contract is $230.5 million. That is an average annual value of $46.1 million per season for the next 5 seasons. Now, his guaranteed money for injury is only $160 million. So it is a pretty good drop off between the 230 down to the 160. But that's still a lot of money for what I would call an unproven quarterback.
Yeah. Probably to trade him, they would probably have to eat some of the money for someone to bring. Knowing that now, yeah, the money definitely changes things. Wow. Didn't realize he was paid that much. That's crazy.
That's a lot.
Okay. Well, last question about the Cardinals. Do you think Jonathan Gannon, the head coach, has to make the playoffs to save his job?
No, I think he just saved his job. He blamed everything on Kyler Murray today. Oh, we're going to go with the backup. We're going to see what Jacoby Brissett can do for us. And when it gets to the end of the season, I think he has to be at least 500 by the end of this season because you can't take that far of a step back. This is year 3 for him. As you know, most GMs, most teams give your coach a 3-year window. Now he has improved from year 1 to 2, and he improved from 2 to 3 basically. But he is going to have to improve one more time. Not sure what this means, but okay. How you doing, buddy?
Salute. No,
is he saluting? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not a big emoji guy, so I don't know.
I'll say this: the defense is better. They very likely nailed their 1st and 2nd round pick. Will Johnson was the 2nd round steal. Walter Nolan looked really good last night. It's funny. The
small
Cowboys,
sample
size, but the Cowboys were between Tyler Booker and Walter Nolan at pick 12.
Mm-hmm.
And Jerry Jones decided to go with the guard. Should have taken Walter Nolan. If they did, they probably wouldn't have had to trade for Quinnen Williams. And Walter Nolan only fell to 16 because there were some character concerns, locker room concerns.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was injured too, wasn't he? Or
he was
injured in camp.
Yeah, this is his first game. But he is a stud. His first step for an interior rusher is insane. And Tyler Smith is the best offensive lineman on the Cowboys by far. And Walter Nolan ate him, for breakfast in one play. Did you see that play? Just destroyed him. and he looks like an absolute stud. So the defense is better. So that's why I'm thinking Jonathan Gannon might be on the hot seat, because the excuse the last couple of years was the defense, but you can't make that excuse anymore. And obviously they're 3-5. They should be they should be 4-4, maybe 5-3. Definitely should be 4-4, 5-3. But
again, I know you know this stat, but they've lost, I believe. Let's see, they're 3-5 of those 5 losses. Every loss, I believe, has been a 1-score loss. So it's just a play here, a play there, and they didn't have this defense. Garrett Wilson's back too, and Garrett Wilson looked really good. And even in his press conference, he said, when we bring Garrett Wilson in, we know where to insert him, and then everybody else gets to go back to where they should
Garrett
be.
Williams, right?
Or Williams. What did I say? Did I say Wilson?
Garrett Wilson. He's a wide receiver for the Jets. Yeah. Garrett
Sorry.
Williams. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you for correcting me, sir. This
okay.
This is your lane, not mine as much. So I'll put my blinker on. Yeah.
No, Garrett Williams back too. That's a good point. That's another player they got back from injury.
Yeah, so between Jacoby and Marvin seeming to have a really good offensive connection, and him and Trey McBride had one too. I mean, McBride, I believe, has had a touchdown in each of the last 4 games, I believe. So
finally,
yes, yeah, him and Murray didn't look great. So
yeah.
I really like this. So I'm going to pose a question to you. Jacoby Brissett is not the long-term answer, right?
Correct.
So then what do you do here? Now, I'm going to love this with you, because you're the guy who was tank and get a good pick. So what do they need a quarterback. Do they tell Jacoby Brissett, be the stand-in, play well, keep us competitive, but how about you lose towards the end of the game? And
Jonathan Gannon needs to keep his job. He's going to try to win as much as possible. But the best thing for the Cardinals might be, and we talked about this with other teams, to lose as many games as possible, pick in the top 10 and get a quarterback. That might be the best thing. The Cardinals are in better shape than most teams that need a quarterback as far as roster goes, overall roster.
Mm-hmm.
They have Marvin Harris Jr., they have Trey McBride, they have some good young defensive players. But if they go 9-8, just miss the playoffs, pick 18th, you're not going to get one of the best 4 or 5 quarterbacks.
No.
So that's like the worst thing you can do in any sport, is be right around 500, just miss the playoffs and pick, between 18 and 20, because you're not going to get one of the best players. You're not going to get much better doing that. So,
but I do have to say, they have shown a propensity to do really well in the second and third rounds. So yeah. let me give you 2
Trey
words.
McBride, Will Johnson, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me give you 2 words.
Okay.
How about Sam Levitt?
Not in the first round.
No, not. I agree, not in the first round. But they pick him in the second or third round, and maybe they get lightning in a bottle. They get the home. I don't think he was born in Arizona, but the kid that played at ASU, they bring him into the Arizona and the National Football League, and let's see what they can do.
We'll see.
All right.
Let's talk.
Where are we going to next, buddy?
We're going to talk about the Bengals. So the Bengals offense has been incredible since they traded for Joe Flacco. Obviously, Jake Browning was the problem. I didn't think he was. I thought this was a dumb trade, but they still only won 1 game since it happened. So why have they won only 1 game? Who would you blame?
I can't blame just one person when you lose.
Maybe
like
not
that.
a person, but what's the biggest problem, would you say, with this team?
Well, I mean, their defense is the biggest problem. Let me crack you in the skull right now. I mean, come on now. That's not a hard thing to get. But you know what? I tell you what. We all know that's the biggest problem. Let me give you an underlying problem that I think is just as big, that no one's really talking about. And I don't like it in any NFL team, not just the Bengals.
Okay.
Now, I think maybe you can agree with me because of the team that you root for too. I don't think the head coach should also be the play caller. You need to have an offensive coordinator for a reason. If the head coach wants to bark on the headset every once in a while and say, no, I think, I see this, we need to run this play at this point. Okay, fine. But the head coach shouldn't be calling every single offensive play. I think that's way too much to put on one guy. I said this last week, and I got made fun of on X some for it. I said I can't wait for Mike McDaniel to get fired so that we can bring him into Cincinnati and have him be our offensive coordinator, and because I think that's what he's great at. Being a head coach for him is too much, and I think being a head coach for the Bengals head coach right at the moment is just too much for him. Let somebody else call the plays, and he manage the actual team.
I agree with you on Mike McDaniel. I think he's a good offensive coach. He's very goofy. He's just not a leader. He's not a head coach.
But he doesn't have to be for an offensive coordinator.
Right. I do think he's a very good offensive head coach. He's got the most out of Tua you can get out of him. Like, Tua's not a very good quarterback.
No.
Tua had some good years a few years back. He got the most out of him. He figured out what to do with Tua to get the most out of him. So I think he's a good offensive head coach. So you mentioned Zach Taylor, the coach of the Bengals. Is he in danger of being fired, do you think?
He absolutely is in danger of being fired.
Even though it's the defense, even though the defense? Go ahead, give a stat.
Well, yeah, of course I do. I'm the stat guy on this show. So yeah, since week 6, the Bears, of course, the Bengals helped them with this stat. The Bears scored 114 points since week 6, and they're 3-1. The Chargers have scored 117 points since week 6, and they are 3-1. The Colts have scored 127 points since week 6, and they, you see a pattern developing here?
They're 3-1.
3-1. Yes. And the Bengals have scored the most points since week 6, 131 points.
That's a lot of points.
And they're 1-3. I mean, it's not just the defense; it's the offensive play calling. It's him being kind of conservative. We talked about that on the game that we did, the watch along game that we did. When your defense is bad, you don't have the luxury to call an offense like it traditionally is called. You've got to make some adjustments too. And I think Zach has refused to do that. I also think Zach says stupid stuff in his press conferences like, oh, no, we're not making any changes because I believe in these guys. How do you believe in these guys? They're 1-3, scoring 131 points.
He says it every year. He says it all the time.
Right. He should just be, no. I would have fired him. Maybe not fired him now, but I'm going to definitely fire him after I see who all is available. And I'm going to try to go out and get a decent head coach. But at the same point, you and I both know it. I hate to admit it, but it's true. The Bengals are a pitifully run organization, and I don't know if they'll spend that kind of money that it's going to take to bring in a good head coach.
They're the first team to lose back-to-back games where they scored 38 points since 1966.
Yes.
1966, the year you were born.
Close. Pretty close, actually. Closer than you probably think.
Didn't mean to burn.
I'm an old man. I don't have that pretty hair that you've got over there. I've gone to no hair.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like you want Zach Taylor gone. I get it. I absolutely get wanting your.
Well, I'm not even. If the Bengals would bring in an offensive coordinator, I'd cross my fingers and say, okay, let's give him one more year. But there needs to be some kind of change.
Well, do you think the Bengals have a chance to make the playoffs?
And we'll do the salute at the end. We always do the salute at the end.
Oh, we always go back and forth. This is just us.
This is just us. It's entertaining. We're not fighting yet. Yeah. So a chance. Of course they have a chance, but it's just not very large of one. I mean, it's 5% or less.
Certainly hurt with Pittsburgh beating the Colts. That's certainly hurt. They're currently in 3rd place. They are half game behind Baltimore, and they are 2.5 behind Pittsburgh. But here's the problem with the Bengals. The 2 games they absolutely had to win once Burrow got hurt was Jets at home and Bears at home.
They lost them both.
You got to win those 2 games. And they lost them both. And they should have won both of them. They had both of them won. Almost. I mean, they pretty much had both of them won. So I don't know if anyone saw, but the way the Bengals lost to the Bears was I mean, they basically let a tight end get a long touchdown. They didn't tackle him middle of the field and let him run for it. It was just a disaster. Yeah, I'm sure you don't want to talk about this. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Bears. The Bears wide receiver Rome Odunze, he was a first-round pick, top 10 pick last year out of Washington. He had 0 catches on 3 targets in their win against the Bengals. Rome's father, his name is James Odunze, I said it right, posted this on X, and I quote, "Can the Bears trade Rome Odunze to a team that will actually throw to him?" Let me give you some stats, because Odunze leads the team in just about every receiving category. He has 59 targets, 13 more than anyone else on the Bears. He's tied for the team lead in receptions with 31. He has 10 catches of 20 or more yards. That's twice as many as the next guy, and 4th in the NFL. He's 4th in the NFL in catches over 20 yards. He has 473 total yards, 70 more than the next place player on the Bears. And he has 5 touchdowns. No other Bear has more than 2. Yet James Odunze is wanting him to be traded because of one game where he got 3 targets and no catches. The point I'm trying to make is people close to these players, they're demanding trades after just one game that doesn't go the way, they hope for their, their son or their friend or whoever.
Mm-hmm.
Is this what's happening in NFL? Are we going to see more of this, do you think? Is this going to become common? What have you done for me lately?
I think it's already become common, and it's because of the social media aspect. Somebody wants to get on social media and run their mouth. I mean, we see it all the time, right? You and I, are very picky about who comes on this show. You and I are really picky about who comes on our watch-alongs and stuff like that, right? So we look at their stuff, we go to their YouTube page, and we listen to them for a little bit. There's people out there who have a much larger following than either one of us or the two of us even put together, and they don't know what the heck they're talking about. And we agree on this, right?
Yep.
So this is just, it's not necessarily what have you done for me lately. It is the Stephen A. Smiths of the world. It is the loudmouth. You don't even have to say correct stuff anymore. You just have to scream it from the mountaintop, and then people are like, "Oh, well, now we got to talk to him," and because he's the one with the big mouth, and he's the one that's ready to put his neck out there. Well, when you say wrong stuff to me and you put your neck out there, okay, I'll just chop it off for you. I'll tell you how dumb you are, right? And you and I kind of have the same philosophy with this, and that's why we get along so well together. But at the same point, we're also really, really picky, and both of us have pretty strong opinions about a lot of these sports things. So I don't want to speak for you, but I can tell you this: when I talk about something, I've already researched it, and I've already put my heart and soul into it, and I'm not going to back down, right? So I think a lot of these parents just want to, they brush it off as, I just want what's best for my kid. Well, man, it's one game. Like you just gave all the stats. He's the best player on that team, to be honest with you. At least I would think so, or top 3, right? And you're complaining. Man, shut up. He's not going to get 12 targets every game. It's not going to happen. Depending on the scheme, depending on the team you play. I mean, I don't want to go too much into this, and that's a person that's a dad and not a football mind. He's just a dad. I understand it, but Dad, shut up.
You made some really good points. I can't remember everything you said because you just made some good points, but
I'll start writing that stuff down.
It's not just other content creators that aren't good, that have more followers than us. There's people on ESPN and Fox Sports that are way worse than us. They're idiots. They have horrible takes. Someone tell me how Colin Cowherd ever got hired for anything. The guy has the worst takes and the worst metaphors. He is an idiot. But another thing you mentioned, yes, this one game, I just looked it up.
Okay.
Last week against Baltimore, Rome Odunze, 10 targets, 7 catches for 114 yards. I didn't see James Odunze posting on X about that game. He didn't demand a trade after he got 10 targets the week before.
Nope.
That is crazy. And he got 5 touchdowns in the first 4 games. So, yeah, a game. That, by the way, this is the point. The Bears won the game. Okay, so shouldn't his father be happy the team won? Happy that his son's team won the game, and shouldn't he post about that? Or is it all about stats in fantasy football?
Yes. For some people, it is all about stats in fantasy football. And we'll get to your question here. 4088, I will get to your question. I see it out there. Let us finish this topic, and then I'll put it up there. So there's so much more now. It's money. It's fame. It's I can get a big Doritos commercial if I run my mouth all the time. It is, all of those kinds of things. And I don't know. I think you and I have a pretty good grasp on this kind of stuff, but a lot of other people don't, and it's clickbait, and people just click and click and click, and that's what all these places want. We're not that guy. We're not that show. If you're intelligent, then listen to us. And if you're not, go listen to some of the other loudmouths. They'll tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah, ESPN will talk about WNBA.
Right? So here we go. At Pablo Ruiz, 4088, worst fan base in the league.
Ooh. I'll let you go first.
So this can kind of be construed in a couple of different ways, right?
Yeah.
We can go to something like Philadelphia and say,
Sure.
worst fan base in the league.
Definitely the worst stadium to go to if you're
an opposing team. I'm not sure if that's the worst fan base, because I'm sure not all of those fans are like that, but that's what the majority of what you see. So worst fan base, I would say the worst fan base, you're going to like this answer. Chicago Bears, because they have put up with losing and they're okay with it.
I would disagree with you on that, but I get it.
Okay,
they're not okay with losing. They're not okay with losing. Trust me.
It's not. Wow, now you're cheek.
Cheeks. I'm cheeks now. No cheese. I'm cheeks.
Cheeks.
I'm cheeks. I am now cheeks.
There we go.
Okay, finish your point about the Bears.
Well, I mean, that's just my point. Is I think the worst fan base is a fan base that accepts losing, and still comes out to the games. Right? Even the Cubs, they were the lovable losers forever and a day. Right? And people still packed Wrigley Field, and I think that area has just gotten used to losing, and it's like, you know what? We'll still support them. We'll come out and have a good time. We'll drink. We'll do all those things that are associated with sports. And we'll just pray and cross our fingers that we might possibly have a chance eventually to make the playoffs.
I'll say this. The Cubs were always like that. You're right. But their attendance really dropped off. I think it was 2021, 22, or maybe 23, like for 2 years straight, when they weren't very good, their attendance did drop off, which was shocking to them because they had never done that. All through the 70s, 80s, when they were 90s, when they were bad, the teams were bad, they still had great attendance. But they did drop off. Now it's back up again because, they're relevant. But this is tough because I think it changes year to year. I would have probably, worst fan base. That's such a tough question. But I'll say this.
Maybe this should be a top 10 for us here in the future.
Do you know the theory about like rich people, the new rich, the people that all of a sudden become rich, they're like the biggest jerks. Like all of a sudden they have money and they think they're better than everyone else. Like all of a sudden you haven't been like, you've been poor. All of a sudden you're rich and you just become a different person, right? The Detroit Lions fans
Okay, there's another one.
They're a-holes. They really are. I thought, okay, the Vikings fans used to troll worse on X, but really the last few years, once the Lions got good, their fan base just has this arrogance about them. They troll the Packers, they troll Vikings, they troll the Bears. I see it all over X. They just think, oh, all of a sudden they think they're the greatest thing ever. And so I'm going to say the Lions probably have the worst fan base, and they're the dirtiest team in the NFL, and they excuse it and make it, they defend it. All their dirty plays from Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph and Jack Campbell, three of the dirtiest players in the NFL. So I keep on saying this. I would never have said this 3 years ago, but Detroit Lions is my answer.
All right. So now, Pablo, we'll give you your flowers here. We'll put everything up here. It's maybe a franchise or a
Pablo is
city
all
vibe.
over these questions.
Yeah, he is. He's like JC. JC's usually all over this, but not tonight.
I'm going to go first on this. Green Bay Packers, they go at 5, 6 in the morning every game day. If it's afternoon game, night game, bratwurst and beers, they cook them, they tailgate. Absolutely Green Bay. And if I wasn't a Packer fan, I would still say the Packers. I love those videos of them tailgating.
Yeah, but it says which one would you want to crash? I assume he means which one would you want to tear it up?
No, crash. You like crash a party.
Oh,
Don't trust Raiders fans. I get it, but they've been so bad for so long that called it cheese. Okay.
Mm-hmm. He was saying he was going to call that you were going to say the Packers. I assume that's what he means by that.
Oh, probably. Yeah. What do you think? What tailgate would you want to go to?
I want to go to a nice tailgate. I certainly don't want to go anywhere cold. I mean, I'm going to go out to like the LA tailgate or something to where, I can sit in the lawn chairs and eat the brisket and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to be in Buffalo or somewhere. I mean, it's like, I'm going to have a good time
briskets.
Or Green Bay.
We have good briskets in Houston. That's where you want to go to. We have really.
Is that where I want to go to? That's pretty nice weather in Houston too. So
you should try Buc-ee's brisket. You should come try the brisket at Buc-ee's.
Here we go. Right. So you probably don't know this because you're not out here, but I've been to Buc-ee's because I used to live in Ohio, so I'm the Midwest guy at one point, right? And I 100% agree with you. And they're getting ready to open the largest Buc-ee's this side in the Mississippi, about 15 minutes from where I live.
Wow.
Yes. The building is so large. It is nice reference here. It is 3 football fields of a building, and then they are going to have 110 gas pumps outside of it.
Okay. The Buc-ee's by here is probably half that size. The big one by here is probably half that size.
Now I'm going to have to go take some pictures of it and put it up on our X account and tag you in there.
Wow.
So yeah.
I'll have to come visit. Yeah.
You need to come visit. All the guys from here at All Sports, All Gloves Off Sports Media are going to come out and visit. I did because I've been searching and searching. That's why you keep seeing me face off this way. I'm not ignoring you by any stretch. I'm doing 2 things at once here. So the Bengals defense missed 15 tackles for 133 yards just against the Bears on Sunday. And they entered that game on Sunday missing 94 tackles for 645 total yards. Both of those are worst in the NFL.
That's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Like is the technique. I mean, you can't miss tackles like that. Like, that's absurd.
Yes. Number
15
2
in one game.
Yes.
And you can't score 42 points and lose, but they did.
Well, I was going to say it takes talent to do so, or the lack thereof.
The Bengal way.
Right. So I have to shout us out here real quick. We follow over 7,700 people, and we, myself and Cheese, here at the Lights Out Sports podcast, are number 2 right now.
But usually number 1. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, I mean, number 1. I don't know. It's an NBA thing, I guess. I'll just say it that way. There's an NBA one that's above us. So, but, ladies and gentlemen, we're done with football, right? You're ready to go on to our
the Flive. I'm ready for the Flive.
Oh, you're ready for the Flive?
Well, we're not done with football because the top 10 list is football.
That is true. So we do have the top 10 list here. It is our Lights Out list. And what we're going to do today was the trade deadline, of course. There were some moves made. Blockbusters, Not necessarily, but there were some moves made that I believe kind of shifted the balance a little bit. And Cheese and I are going to do our lights out list of the top 10 contenders now that the trade deadline has come and gone. Your number 10 team, we're going to go from 10 up to 1. And again, ladies and gentlemen, these, and you guys can put your spin on this as well, these are the top 10 contending teams in the NFL right now. Might not be the teams with the best record, might not even be the teams winning their divisions, but they are the contenders now that they've made some moves. Go ahead, Chiefs.
Oh, let me go first.
Yes, or I don't care. I can go first. It makes no
No,
difference.
I got
to
it.
me.
No, I'm ready.
All right.
My number 10 team is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I originally thought I would have them higher, but looking at the team with injuries, wide receiver, they're not as dominant as I thought. They won a lot of close games. Still have a very good team. Baker Mayfield's still very good quarterback. So, yeah, Tampa Bay number 10.
Interesting. I'll use your line. More on them later.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to start off with a team that I bet you have got ranked relatively high in this this lights out list that we're doing right now. The Baltimore Ravens. And I put them down here at the bottom because Vegas really believes in them. That's going to be a very weak division. And I still think they can win that division before it's all said and done. But they haven't done it yet. So are they contending? Yes. But have they shown me a whole lot so far this year? No. So I put them at number 10 because of that.
I don't have them in my top 10. Their defense stinks. It's terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked by that. I really am.
Lamar Jackson takes too many sacks. I probably would have had him 11 or 12, but I had 10 teams better, in my opinion. My
Okay.
number 9 team is the Green Bay Packers. I could not put them higher. They're my team, my favorite team, but there's flaws. They're bad at guard. Way too many penalties, horrific special teams, and a terrible head coach who just doesn't have them ready. Having said that, they're very talented. They have some really good players. You know, Micah Parsons is amazing, but Tucker crapped out for the year. Pretty much, I probably would have had him 7th or something, if maybe 6th if Tucker Kraft was healthy. But yeah, number 9, Green Bay Packers.
All right. I hate to do this, but I'm just looking at the numbers. You know, I'm a numbers guy. This team is 5-4. They are 4-1 at home. So if they get a home game in the playoffs, there's a pretty good chance they're going to win. And in their division, they have the highest net total points, which is the difference between the points they've scored and the points they've given up. So they have scored 76 more points than they have given up.
Okay.
And that
Point
team-
differential. Very good point differential.
Yes, very good point differential. That team is the Kansas City Chiefs. So I put them at number 9.
So let me ask you this, because this is we do the top 10s differently. You looked at stats, right? You look
Yep.
at stats analytics. I just do eye test. I don't look at any of these top 10.
I know.
just
That's
go
why I
with
love
what-
these lists.
Yes, I that's not what I do. So I did not know that it was that significant. So my number 8 is also the Chiefs. I actually had them 8. They were looking so good until this past week against Buffalo.
Yeah.
And even though they lost by 7, they were pretty much dominated on both lines. They didn't look good at all against the Bills. For some reason, the Bills just kicked the Chiefs' ass in the regular season. Not in the playoffs, but in the regular season. So I'm throwing that one out a little bit. They just never played the Bills well. But yeah, the Chiefs, their offensive line is better than last year. And that was the biggest problem in the Super Bowl. So I had to put them in the top 10, so I put them 8.
All right. Well, we just flip-flopped because I
Okay.
put your Green Bay Packers at number 8.
Okay.
And you put the Chiefs at 8 and the Packers at 9. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. There's some flaws there. I don't like how your coach calls a lot of the plays. I wish he would go for the juggler every once in a while, and he doesn't seem to.
Nope. Sorry, he just threw another dump off screen to
Did
wide
he?
receiver to lose 2 yards. Yes, he just did another wide receiver screen to lose 2 yards. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm with you there, and that's why I put Green Bay at 8. So I got Baltimore, Kansas City, Green Bay so far. Who's your number 7, sir?
The 7 is Detroit Lions. Before the season, I would have probably had them 4 or 5. They can look. The Lions can look so good. They can look dominant and win like by 4 touchdowns, but they have games where they just don't really show up, or Goff doesn't play well. They always seem to have 2 or 3 games like that every year, and they did not look good this past week against Minnesota. So, but the roster's really talented. The offensive line, especially the tackles, are very good. So, Monroe St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs are amazing. Sam Laporta, but yeah, number 7, Detroit Lions.
All right. I'm going to give you the stats. So, Kansas City, I gave you the stats earlier. They got a net point of 76. That means they've scored 76 more points than their opponents have. They're 4-1 at home, and they're 1-3 on the road. But there's another team in this division that has a positive point differential, 22. They've won 3 home games, and they've won 3 away games, and they're 5-1 in the conference. And I want to click back to the other screen because I want to see your reaction when I tell you which team this is, because I'm banking you're going to think it's another team, and it's not. My number 7 team, because of these stats, the Los Angeles Chargers.
I didn't have them in my top 10. And here's why.
I didn't have Detroit in my top 10 either.
Wow. Okay. Here's why I did not have the Chargers. It's not because they haven't played well. They've looked really good at times this year. They've looked like a contender. It's the offensive line injuries. Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt. It might be the best tandem offensive tackles in the NFL. Well, besides the Eagles. But they're both out for the year. So I worry about the offensive line. Otherwise, they would have made this list, but I get it. My number 6 is also, and we're all about AFC West. My number 6 is the Denver Broncos. So their defense is very good. The pass rush best in the NFL. A couple things worry me about them. Offense is kind of up and down. It can look really good at times. Bo Nix started slow. He's been much better lately, but still, he's a little up and down young quarterback. And Patrick Surtain is out for probably the next 6 weeks. He's one of the best corners in the NFL. So I couldn't put him in the top 5, but Denver Broncos is still a very good team. I got him number 6.
All right, now let me tell you the reason why I didn't put Detroit in my top 10, because they were 11.
Okay.
They're 2-2 in conference play. And we said they had a really, I mean, if you remember right, we talked about this earlier in the year. They have an extremely hard schedule this year.
Yep.
All of their away games are teams that were 500 or better last year.
Except for the Bears. Except for at Chicago.
Okay. All right.
That's the only one. But you're right. That's the only one. The Bears, yeah, that's the only road game. Bears were, I think, only won 5 games last year.
This team, I struggled with. I really, really, really wanted to put them higher. I went against the grain on this one because when I usually see stats like this, I will put a team way up top. So their stats are this. They have a 68 net points, so they've scored 68 more points than their opponents.
Okay.
They are 4-0 away from their home stadium, and they're 2-0 in the division. And of their last 5, they've won all 5 of them. In fact, they have a 6-game winning streak. But I just couldn't put them any higher than this. I tried and tried and tried, but I think there's some other teams that are just better than they are. They haven't proven anything to me yet because they haven't done anything yet. Do you know who this team is?
Well, no one has a 6-game winning streak.
Yes, they do. There's one team that has a 6-game winning streak. I'm
Was
staring
Denver?
at it.
Denver?
Oh.
Patriots?
Yes, the New England Patriots had a
wow.
6-game winning streak.
Wow.
I couldn't put them any higher than 6. I really, really wanted to. But man, those stats, I know you're not a big stat guy, but they've scored 68 more points. They're 3-2 at home, but they're 4-0 away from Foxborough, right? No,
4-0 on the road. I did not know that about the Patriots. I would never have guessed.
They're 4-0 on the road. They're 2-0 in the division. They're 5-0 in their last 5, and like I said, they're 6. They've won their last 6 games. And for those of you who bet, they are a plus 2,800 right now. I'm not a betting guy, but I might lay something on New England.
When you said 4-0 on the road, I thought you were talking about my number 5 team I'm about to talk about, because they're also 4-0 on the road.
Ah,
wow. New England. I actually didn't put them in my top 10. I did not put them. Here's why. Like I said, it's the eye test. Drake May's played great. They're playing better than ever.
yes.
It's still not overall a great roster. It's not a good offensive line. It's not really a great defense. If you just look at the overall talent on the roster, they kind of remind me of Washington last year.
Yep.
Washington didn't have a great roster, but they got hot, made the NFC title game, and then faced the Eagles and got obliterated. You know what I mean? Like, I think they can win a few playoff games, maybe do that, but I don't think they can win like 4 straight playoff games and win the Super Bowl.
But they're contenders.
I get it.
Are they Super Bowl winners? No, but we didn't say that. We said, are they contenders? So I put them. I put them at 6.
I just couldn't find room for them in my top 10.
Okay.
To recap, number 10, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 9, Green Bay Packers. Number 8, Kansas City Chiefs. 7, Detroit Lions. 6, Denver Broncos. Number 5 is the Seattle Seahawks. When you said 4-0 on the road, I thought you were talking about the Seahawks, and you're like 6 straight wins. I'm like, the Seahawks have won 6 straight. But yeah, the Seattle Seahawks, they have surprised me. Sam Darnold has looked horrific. They have a good defense, good offense. The offensive line is still an issue, but it's better than expected. And Jackson Smith, JSN, a lot of people have trouble saying it, but I can say it. It's become one of the best. Well, better than most people that are on TV. He's become one of the best receivers in the NFL. They just need to feed Kennard Walker more. He's a really good running back. But Seattle is just one. They absolutely obliterated Washington Sunday night. Sam Darnold had one of the best first halves the quarterbacks ever had. It was that good. Washington had some injuries. They're not looking good, but still, Seattle Seahawks, number 5, would never have even been in my top 15 to start the year.
Okay. Baltimore, number 10 for me. The Chiefs are at 9. Green Bay is at 8. The Los Angeles Chargers, I almost said San Diego. The Los Angeles Chargers are at 7. New England Patriots at 6. This team is at number 5. They also, you were saying stuff earlier and I was keeping my mouth shut. They also have a 6-game winning streak. They are 4-2 in conference. They're 4-0 at home. And they have scored 59 more points than their opponents. They are the 7-2 Denver Broncos, and they are my number 5 team.
Yeah, I have them 6. Yeah, they look really good, and they're well coached. Sean Payton's a very good coach. Some of these teams on this list don't have great coaches. Okay, my number 4 is the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are they haven't always looked good this year. They had a 2-game losing streak against the Giants and the Broncos. And the offense hasn't always gelled. But it's been much better the last 2 weeks. I like what they did at the deadline. And they're the defending champs. That roster is so loaded. So, number 4, Philadelphia Eagles.
All right. So, my number 4 team needs to get better at home. They're 4-0 on the road. They're 1-1 in the division. They're 3-2 in conference. They have a 3-game winning streak. They've scored 81 more points than their opponents have. And they are surprising me. And I, like you, would have never put them in my top 10 at the beginning of the season. But I put them even higher than you did. I put the Seattle Seahawks at number 4. And I did that. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the stats. I apologize.
Go
Let
ahead.
me get back to this. Let me get back to this hair real quick here. So, the reason why I actually bumped them up today because they got a new target to throw to. Sam Darnold has a new target to throw to.
Mhm.
How big of an improvement do you think that is for the Seattle Seahawks?
I can't wait to publish that video when I talk about it. But I like the move. Seahawks like to throw down the field. That is their offense.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Darnold has a big arm. We have Jackson Smith and Jigba. We have Torrey Horton, star rookie, looks great. And now Rashid Shaheed. They're all deep threats. Imagine coming up with a game plan against that. All three of them can burn you deep. They all have big play ability. So, yeah, I like the move. I don't necessarily love giving up as much as they did, but I get it. In Seattle, you said they're 1-1 in the division.
Yes.
If Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. had any chemistry whatsoever, they'd be 0-2 in that division. That was a 3-point loss for the Cardinals, where 2 interceptions were because they weren't on the same page in that first half where they got way behind. So they were very close to being 0-2 in the division. Just saying.
Let me give you a little preview of Sunday. Short week for the Arizona Cardinals, and they have to go to Seattle, and they're going to be the first defense after coming off of the defensive game they had against the Cowboys of trying to stop this deep threat of the Seattle Seahawks. I think that's going to be a really interesting chess match between a really good defense in Arizona and a good defensive-minded coach in Jonathan Gannon going up against the Seahawks and what they can do now. That's going to be one of my games that I'm really looking forward to on Sunday.
Well, Seahawks haven't been very good at home. They just haven't the last couple of years. For whatever reason, I don't know why. They used to be the best home field advantage in the NFL, like a decade
12th man and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, but the Cardinals need that win.
And they're 2-2 at home. Seattle's 2-2 at home right now.
Right. It is a short week for them, but they look so good last night. So, yeah, they need to go in there and they need to win. It's a must-win for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's a big game.
All right. So where are we at? Okay, number 3. Number 3 is the Los Angeles Rams. I think Sean McVay, let's say this, is one of the most overrated coaches in the NFL. He does have a ring, so he gets that, but I don't like his play calling, his decision-making necessarily, but they have a really good team. Stafford looks amazing. If Puka Nacua is healthy, and Devontae Adams, that duo, they have good tight ends, and the front four is incredible. They get so much pass rush, so really good offense, really good defense. Just like the Packers, special teams not so good, but I wanted to drop the Rams lower, I just couldn't.
Well, I made up for it because I didn't have the Rams on this list at all.
Oh, wow. You don't have the Rams in your top 10?
I don't have the Rams on this list at all.
You really don't like the Rams, do you?
I don't, but I have to say the reason why I don't is because they seem to be the most fragile team in the NFL. There's always somebody hurt on that team, and it just really affects them. And I don't think they can. I don't think they're going to contend because of that. They can't keep that team healthy, seemingly. So, I know they're technically second in that division. I can rattle you off some of the stuff here. They are 3-1 at home and 3-1 away, but they're also 0-1 in the division. So, and I don't like Sean McVay. I don't like his coaching style. I don't like what they do.
I agree with that.
I probably should have put them at like 10 or 9, to be honest, but
okay.
I was holding a grudge, okay? I was holding a grudge, all right? I didn't put them in my top 10.
All right, who's your number 3?
Ravens, Chiefs, Packers, Chargers, Patriots, Broncos, Seahawks. Number 3 for me, and I wrestled with this. I almost flipped these next 2, but I decided to keep it right where it was. And I put the AFC team in the Indianapolis Colts at number 3. They're 5-0 at home, but they're 2-2 away. That's what kept them at 3. Now, I do have to give them the props. They have scored more points than any other team in the NFL, and they have a 109-point differential between what the other teams have scored against them and what they have scored. 109. They've played some really crappy teams, too, if you look at their schedule. So I thought that was a little bit...
But they've dominated those teams. They have That's what you do when you have bad teams. Blow them out, and they've done that. And that's
And
impressive.
they've done it. That's true. That is true. So that's kind of the good and the bad of the Indianapolis Colts. They are 7-2, but I decided to put them at number 3 because I thought 2 teams are better.
More on them now. My number 2 is the Indianapolis Colts, and their 2 losses really just turnovers. Okay, technically they really should have 3 losses. That dumb Denver penalty would probably be a different list maybe if Denver won that game. They should have lost to Denver. But anyway, the leverage call. But in their 2 losses, it's just turnovers. They just turn the ball over. That's why they lost. Other than that, when they don't turn the ball over, I don't know if anyone can beat them. They have as much talent on offense, especially if you just take the quarterback away, as anyone. They don't have a weakness on offense as far as like running backs, tight ends, offensive line receivers. They're loaded. And the defense just got so much better getting Sauce Gardner. So, yeah, I have them in the Indianapolis Colts, number 2.
And I actually rose them up a couple spots because they got Sauce Gardner.
So did I.
You're going to disagree with me on the top 2 teams that I have. I can almost guarantee it.
Well, one of them we have the same.
Maybe.
We do.
Maybe.
There's a team we both haven't said that we're both. Come
on. so that team is probably going to be right here for me.
Okay.
You do the eye test thing. I love this team. I mean, I'm a Bengals guy. I'm still a fan of theirs. I don't think they're going to make anything. I'm the Cardinals guy because I live out here in Arizona. I don't think they're going to make it to the playoffs. So I'm like going, okay, who's going to be the team that I'm going to ride with that I really think has a chance? The team that I want to get behind. And it's because of their quarterback. I love him. I've watched a lot of interviews with him. He's a very religious guy, but he's very down to earth. He'll just tell you off and he doesn't care. But here's the stats. They've only got 19 more points than their opponents. They're 2-1 at home. They're 4-1 away. But here's what got me to put them at 2. They're 2-0 in the division. That's key. You know who it is, I'm sure.
I had them 10th. Yeah.
Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
We're going to say number 1.
No, we won't. We don't. You've already said your number 1. You've already said my number 1 earlier in your count.
You did not. My number 1 you didn't even have on your list. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Maybe not.
Apparently, no, I haven't. No, Tampa Bay. It's just all the close game. That's why I couldn't put them higher than 10. They've won so many close games. They're 6-2, but they could easily be 3-3.
But that's why I put them there. I feel as though like they overcome. They find a way to win, and maybe it's just a fan in me who wants to root for that team. But that's where I'm at right now. Is they find a way to win. They're so enjoyable to watch.
I just don't know if that's sustainable, especially in the postseason. You can't keep finding a way to win. And the wide receiver injuries are an issue. Mike Evans is hurt. Like they keep having key injuries.
But they've got Ibuka.
They do. He's a stud. Great pick, by the way. Yep. And you might get correct. Offensive Rookie of the Year. My Offensive Rookie of the Year is not going to win. So your prediction could be correct. Tyler Warren, though, could win it. Okay. I get it. Let me just recap my top 9 so far. Number 10, the Buccaneers. Mm-hmm. Number 9, Packers. 8, Chiefs. 7, Lions. Mike hates the Lions. Lions fans, he hates them. 6, Broncos. 5, Seahawks. 4, Eagles. You have not mentioned the Eagles. 3, Rams. You didn't mention them either. Number 2, Colts, and my number 1 is the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen looked amazing as the Chiefs. He looks like an MVP candidate. I was worried about the Bills for a while there, but they play down to the bad teams. They always do. I don't know why. They have done it for years, but in the big games, they show up. I know they've had trouble beating the Chiefs in the postseason. That's the only issue I have with the Bills, really. But their defense looked very good. Despite losing Ed Oliver. So right now, number 1 for me is the Buffalo Bills.
I can't wait to do this. So you said what kept your number 1 team out of my top 10. They play down to their competition, and they don't play up enough to their competition.
Only
The
against the
Kansas City
Chiefs.
Chiefs own them.
Only in the
They-
playoffs, and because the referees
Oh,
help a
yeah.
lot too. Referees help. The referees help, and it's the postseason, and it's always close.
It's always
Those-
close.
Bills just
But they're-
dominated them. I know. But did you just see the game on Sunday? They just dominated that game.
I did get to see that one, yes, because it wasn't on ESPN. So I did get to see that one. And I agree with you. They did dominate that game. But there's been other games where they look questionable. They barely beat the Ravens. And
Actually, the
you said
Ravens.
it
No,
earlier.
no. The Ravens gave the game away.
Okay, even worse.
They did.
Thanks for making my point.
They gave the game away. Yes, but the Ravens were healthier than they are now.
Correct. I don't like their coach. I don't like their defensive scheme. To
I do
me,
that.
and I know you're going to say James is okay, but I don't think so. I don't like their running back. I don't like any of that.
What? James Cook? He's one of the best running backs in the NFL. He's having an amazing year. He just the week before last he ran for over 200 yards in a game. What are you
Yes.
talking about?
He
What are you
did.
talking about?
He did. He is the epitome of what the Buffalo Bills are. They blow out bad teams. I mean, you know, I know you're going to say, "Oh, well, that's what you're supposed to do," but they don't show up
they
against
don't.
the better
They don't
team.
blow out bad teams. They barely beat bad teams. They play down to the competition.
Yes. Okay. That's why I can't put them up there. I don't trust them. Do you trust Buffalo?
Buffalo, when it counts, when they play a
Don't.
big game right now, and the Ravens, I just saw them. I just saw them. Did you not watch that game? A Chiefs team has been playing so well. They beat them on both sides of the ball. They dominated the line of scrimmage. Josh Allen looked amazing. James Cook has been terrific this year. Dalton Kincaid looks good. Finally, the defense played a good game. Maxwell Harrison, their first round pick, had a great interception. He looks good. I know it's one game, but they did beat the Ravens and they did beat the Chiefs. I'm just saying. You hate
No.
the Bills.
I don't hate the Bills. They don't show up in big games.
They,
They're
but
not
they
coached
do
well
in the
enough.
regular season. They do. So
Okay, but
according
we're
to-
not talking about that.
According to PFF, the number one rated running back
Oh,
in
you
the
mean?
NFL.
Oh, so
is
now
James
wait.
Cook.
All of a sudden, you're going to go by PFF. Do you know? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do you know teams has trashed PFF for
I hate
weeks?
PFF.
And
A
then
friend of mine
all
just
of a
sent me
sudden-
this. A friend of mine just sent me this. PFF has James Cook as the best running back in the NFL.
Who cares?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But he's having a good year, in my opinion.
Oh my gosh. All right, so my team, that's number one. And here's why. There's some reasons behind this. They are the only team in their division with a plus point differential. The only one.
Okay.
The other three teams in their division, minus 52, minus 35, and minus 14. The other teams in their division lost 3 in a row, lost 4 in a row, lost 2 in a row. And I'm not necessarily saying they're a fantastic team. I'm saying they're in a terrible division, and they're going to get to just whiz right on by everybody.
Okay.
They have the best GM in sports. Wait, I can't see you. Hang on. Let me go back. They have the best GM in sports, not in football, in sports. When you've got that kind of a combination, what, they made 4 trades in the last 4 days? That's the other reason why I put them up here at number 1. The Philadelphia Eagles, hold on. Eagles run the East. Woo.
I had him 4. I get it. I had him high too. Yeah.
But that's the reason why they're my number 1, though, right? So 3-1 at home, 3-1 away, 2-1 in the division, 5-1 in conference. They don't have more than 1 loss in any of that stuff. They've won 2 in a row, and they're in a division where nobody's going to stop them. The Cowboys aren't stopping them. The Commanders aren't stopping them. The Giants certainly aren't stopping them. They're just going to have a road that's paved in gold all the way to the playoffs.
They could
So I
have the
put him
division wrapped up by Thanksgiving. They could.
Yes. And they'll be able to rest their players and just coast.
No, I get it. I had him fourth. I'm shocked you didn't even put the Bills in the top 10.
No.
My number one
Mafia. The Mafia's
the
done.
Bills Mafia. No, I agree. I don't love their head coach, but to say James Cook, you don't love James Cook as a running back. He's been tremendous this year. I just don't. Just the eye test. I don't understand that. I completely disagree with you.
Okay.
But yeah, the Eagles. Yeah. The only thing with the Eagles that worries me is just that offense at times can look so flat and stagnant. AJ Brown looks disgruntled. If they get that figured out, they'll be fine. And they're the defending champs, so they know how to win. You still with me, Mike?
I am. I'm looking up.
Okay.
Let's see here. So
Pin up.
yeah.
You love PFF.
No, I don't.
They have
Christian
Scadaboo fourth.
McCaffrey?
My buddy says they have Scadaboo fourth. Which
Yes.
Scadaboo was great till he got hurt. He was
Right,
one of
right,
the
and he
four.
would have been fantastic. In fact, he may have won Rookie of the Year and taken it away from. But not
He
now.
might have.
He's not.
He was trending up. Yeah, he might have. It's
Bibb.
between two. It's between two players. Let's be honest. It's
Yes.
between Emeka Ibuka and Tyler Ward.
Josh Jacobs is a better running back than James Cook. Jonathan Taylor's better. Jameer Gibbs is
Jonathan
better.
Taylor's better. Yes, I agree with both of those.
B. John Robinson is better.
Okay, I'll agree with all four of those.
Saquon Barkley is probably better.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
Derrick Henry is close.
No, better.
Um,
He's better. But he's still
so-
top 10. James Cook is still a top 10 running back in the NFL.
Okay, I'll give you that, but you just said he was the best.
No, I said PFF had the best. I said PFF grades him the best. Doesn't mean he's the best.
Okay.
PFF grading is terrible. No, I just James Cook's having a really good year. And
A really good year, yes. But he's not having a good enough year to bail out that defense in Buffalo and the coaching in Buffalo.
Don't love the coaching. I get it. The defense looked really good last week. I don't know. I feel like the Bills, they're going to be fine. It's just they got to get over the hump of the Chiefs in the playoffs. That's the problem. But in the regular season, they beat good teams. They do. The biggest problem, and the Packers' problem this year, is not showing. It's playing down the competition in other games. That's been the Bills' problem for years, and that goes back to coaching. So I get it, but in the postseason, I think the Bills are going to be fine. That's why I put them number one. And Josh Allen's amazing. He really is.
So I gave you one job, by the way, Cheese. We're a little over 3 hours now, so
Are we?
we probably should wrap this up here.
Wow.
I gave you one job, and you forgot to remind me at the end of the MLB thing to tell everybody.
Oh, I totally forgot.
Yes,
I had
but
one job.
I remember. So last week we went to Spotify, and we are now on Spotify. For those of you who prefer that type of an account, you can still listen to the Lights Out Sports podcast right there on Spotify. And this week we went one more. If you're an Apple Music guy, starting with this episode right here, we are now going to be on Apple Music as well. So we just keep adding, keep giving you guys more avenues to get us on, and we certainly appreciate those of you who take advantage of that. So now we are on Spotify and Apple Music, as well as YouTube, X, Facebook, all kinds of stuff. The Lights Out Sports Podcast is not turning the lights out anytime soon. Cheese, where can they get you, buddy?
At Football with Cheese. Cheese spelled like on the screen, CHEZ. Yeah, just subscribe. And I'm on X at Football Cheese. Basically, same thing without the width.
All right, fantastic, buddy. Anything you want to add to the end of the show as we get ready to sign off and tell everybody good night?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess my question for you: who's more likely to win an MVP, Sam Darnold or Josh Allen? Okay, I thought it'd be a quick, easy answer, but this.
Well, Sam
Over
Darnold's
three.
got a new weapon. He's got a new toy now.
I think those are the two favorites right now.
I think you're right. I'll reserve my answer. But you know what? No.
We'll talk about next week.
Sam Darnold. I'll go on the limb. Sam Darnold.
Okay.
I'm tired of seeing all the same guys get all the awards all the time.
Okay.
Let's go Sam Darnold.
All right.
All right, guys. We certainly appreciate you guys. Everything that you've done for us. Thank you to the 130 plus people we've had with us live tonight. It's more in this live than we had last week. So we appreciate it. It just keeps growing and keeps growing. Oh, we've got a comment over here. Let me make sure I get to that before we go off the air.
This is our longest show I think we've ever done.
Probably is. We had a lot going on. So
there's so much to talk about. Thanks everyone for staying to the end.
Yes.
Promise next week will be a little less.
Don't do that. Don't promise that. It's almost like an 18-inning game. We stayed to the bitter end, and a lot of you guys did too.
Oh, just wait till college football playoff. Wait till that happens. Wow, that'll be a
and
show.
we will do some more watch-alongs as well. Even though we didn't do it yesterday, that's ESPN's fault. So
we'll get there. We will. College football watch-along is definitely on our bucket list.
Yes, we will do it sometime this season. I guarantee it. All right, guys. So as we always say at the end of these things, besides the fact that we appreciate all of you Chiefs, thank you very much for being with us. Thank you to everybody on the All Gloves Off Sports Media spot. We appreciate all of them as well, and we thank them for everything that they're doing for us. Make sure you check out our shorts and everything else that we've got going on right the moment as we continue to add things, continue to add more avenues, and continue to add more viewers. And to all of you, we say the same thing. The only thing that's fair in life is a baseball hit between the third and first base line. Good evening, everyone. Had to turn that music off real quick. And then I had to hit this button.